and some of their staffers have encountered the same crime that we've been screaming about, something might get done. But then again, the Democrats control Denver and the state capitol, so the truth is nothing's going to get done. It's gotten so bad that legislators have asked Denver Mayor Mike Johnston to help provide security because of the growing criminal activity and harassment around the state capitol building. Now, the last I looked, I thought that the Colorado State Patrol provided security to the Colorado State Capitol building. Where's the Colorado State Patrol? Huh? Why aren't you asking them to do that? We already pay their taxes. Throughout the entire state, we all pay their taxes. But no, you want the Denver Police Department. So now that the Politburo is suffering like the rest of us, now they want something done about crime. So while the Democrats are busy in the state legislature, in the state Politburo, while they're busy trying to take away your guns, they beg for security to protect themselves. Yes, that's why I despise these people.
That's pretty much all I got.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alderman has left the building.
Follow Michael Brown at Michael Brown USA. And stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW, KHOW.com, and on the iHeartRadio app. Tom Martino is next on Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Announcing the liquidation sale of an historic family ranch on Saturday, March 8th. Here are the details. The ranch is located just 7 miles off I-25 south of Colorado Springs at the base of the Spanish Peaks on gorgeous high mountain grasslands. Nestled between two commanding buttes with views of the Spanish Peaks that are so beautiful it's hard to describe. The ranch will be offered in smaller ranches ranging in size from 35 to 70 acres. Here are two examples. 35 acres, $49,900, 70 acres, $99,900. The ranches have good roads with electric and are in a good water area. It is beautiful, private, and unrestricted. Build on it, RV on it, hunt on it, or just buy and hold. Saturday, March 8th, 35 acres, $49,900, 70 acres, $99,900. Financing is available. Learn more. Take a video tour at 866CORanch.com. Then call 866-CO-RANCH. That's call or click 866CORanch.com.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention anyone who used Depo-Provera or other prescription birth control shots. If you or a loved one used Depo-Provera and were later diagnosed with brain tumors or intracranial meningioma, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Text LEGAL to 200-300 right now to see if you qualify. A new study has uncovered evidence linking Depo-Provera use to the development of brain tumors, and emerging lawsuits allege that manufacturers of Depo-Provera knew the risks for decades but failed to warn people of the potential harm. If you or a loved one used Depo-Provera or other prescription birth control shots and were later diagnosed with brain tumors or intracranial meningioma, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Text LEGAL to 200-300. Don't wait. Time to file a claim is limited. Text the word LEGAL to 200-300. If you or a loved one developed brain tumors after using Depo-Provera, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Text LEGAL to 200-300. That's LEGAL to 200-300. LEGAL to 200-300.
Tired of making the same weight loss resolutions every year? It's time to break the cycle. Get started with Mochi Health. Meet one-on-one with a board-certified obesity medicine doctor from the comfort of your own home and see if a GLP-1 medication is right for you. If so, we'll have it delivered straight to your door.
I knew that I wasn't in good health. Then one day I went to get my blood work done and the results were not good. I was potentially going to take time away from my children. With Mochi Health, I've lost 60 pounds. I'm just really happy that my kids get to grow up with a mom who can do things with them.
Start with our free quiz at joinmochi.com. That's joinmochi.com. Take our free quiz today and use the code 2025radio to get $40 off your first month. Begin your journey with Mochi Health at joinmochi.com. That's joinmochi.com.
Real patients were compensated to share their experiences. Results may vary. Eligible GLP-1 patients typically lose 1 to 2 pounds per week in their first 6 months with Mochi when combined with a healthy lifestyle.
Check out joinmochi.com.
Man, I am happy to tell you about the only realtor that made the cut for Team Dave Logan, and that is Troy Hansford. I recommend Troy because he's the only agent that will guarantee to sell your home at your price, or he'll write you a check for $5,000. And the good news, he puts that in writing. He can make that guarantee because he spends tens of thousands of dollars generating demand. And right now, he has hundreds of approved home buyers ready to buy. He just doesn't have enough houses. So if you have a house, Troy might have that perfect buyer for you right now. Give him a call, 720-900-4433. Let me give you a story. Just last week, Troy listed a house that was on the market for almost a month. You know what? Troy sold it for full price in less than a week. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy will buy your house for all cash, and it can close in as little as 7 days. Call Troy and get your home sold for the most money. 720-900-4433. Again, that's 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford with RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions apply.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes.
We've got a great looking Wednesday ahead. Temperatures today back up a little above average in the mid-50s. Lots of sunshine, and the wind stays light. I'm Fox 31 Pinpoint Weather Team meteorologist Kylie Burse.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with experts today. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeart radio station. Make us the #1 preset on the free iHeart Radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
I'll show you how to work that.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. In a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court has ruled that USAID must pay international aid groups that have already provided services. President Trump had been trying to pause that funding, says ABC's Devin Dwyer.
And then for breaks, I'll help you out with that. Tom. Here, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
This is good. I mean,
all right, I can hear his monitor. When you hear out,
some aid groups say they risk going under without those government funds. The Trump administration pushing a list of more than 440 federal properties it has identified to close or sell, including the Maine Department of Justice building and the FBI headquarters. Later, it backtrack on that list. A senior Canadian government official tells the Associated Press Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is not willing to lift Canada's retaliatory tariffs if President Trump leaves any tariffs on Canada. Stocks holding steadier today than the past 2 days. This is ABC News. Ceasefire talks stalling in the Middle East. Israel blocking all aid to Gaza and holding off on moving into phase 2 of the agreement. Meantime, the Arab League convening in Egypt today to discuss plans for rebuilding Gaza.
The White House rejecting a proposal by Arab leaders to rebuild Gaza and sideline Hamas. That just hours after it was announced from Cairo. Brian Hughes, the spokesman for the National Security Council, said the Arab League plan fails to address that Gaza is, quote, currently uninhabitable. That's raising fears here in the region that President Trump still aims to displace 2 million Palestinians from Gaza and lead rebuilding plans. Jordana Miller, ABC News, Jerusalem.
The Catholic Church beginning the Lenten season this Ash Wednesday without the participation of Pope Francis as he begins his 3rd week in the hospital, or is spending it, continuing to be treated for pneumonia. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Yeah.
KHOW News Time, 10:03.
The House Oversight Committee's hearing on sanctuary city policies is underway. Denver Mayor Mike Johnston is testifying, along with the mayors of New York, Boston, and Chicago.
So if we want to tell the story of what impact immigrants have in America, we must tell the full story. That story must acknowledge that this country is lucky to have people like Julian Becerra.
Does anybody hear me?
Who love this country enough to risk their lives to keep us safe.
Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is a member of the committee, and Colorado's other Republican members of Congress have also been asked to question Johnston and others during the hearing. The U.S. Department of Justice has announced it's reviewing the prosecution of former Mesa County Clerk Tina Peters. Back in October, Peters was sentenced to 6 months in jail, followed by 8.5 years in prison for giving unauthorized access to the Mesa County election system in 2021. The DOJ says it's evaluating the case for potential abuses of the criminal justice system. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
Yeah, we're doing pretty well on the freeways. There is some slowing on 270 coming off I-70 and west up to Vasquez.
But now, tell me if it's good now.
Let's see. Well, like silent right now.
Yeah, because we switched you over to off air.
Like yeah, we can hear you now.
I just hear studio now. Good. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we're getting an echo on you though.
That's his monitor.
An echo.
Yeah, we're getting the feedback from us.
Big time. Big time.
Well, I can't help that.
No, I mean it's loud as fuck.
Yeah.
What touch? Is there anything different?
Is your monitor up really loud?
Mine isn't. Mine is down to nothing.
This is Kelly from the Tom Martino.
Something's really funky, man.
Yeah.
Do you want me to reconnect?
I don't know what you touched, but
reconnect real quick, yeah. Dude, that's intolerable.
I don't have okay, I hope it's going to be real quick. Let me try.
You two are just complicated orders today. You see those for you, then see them real quick.
Yeah, it's definitely his feedback. So that was crazy.
Oh wow. Oh.
Okay.
But don't worry, he didn't touch anything.
Hello.
Yeah, I didn't
Something's
touch anything.
funky, Tom.
I didn't touch anything.
Oh, wait. Hit the mic. The mic button. Did you hit the mic on the camera?
Thank you very much, fucking dragon. It's not me. Thank you very much, asshole.
I said you didn't touch anything.
Blame the guy at home.
I'm on your side.
Oh, that was me. Sorry.
I'm on your side. You
Mute the goddamn camera. Thank you.
It's good.
That was Kushina. That was Kushina.
Yeah, only
Kelly.
Tom's fault.
Nope.
I never said it was your fault.
Well, you can mute it from there. You know that, don't you?
No, I didn't know I could do that.
10 seconds.
I'll let you
Actually, I
Yeah,
didn't know
Wednesday edition of the show, Sound is King. We'll have some of the highlights from President Trump's big speech and sound from the mayors, including Johnston, being grilled on the Hill over sanctuary cities. Join us at 4.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Welcome to the show. Tom Martino here. Solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints, making your life a little easier. All you have to do is give us a call at 303-713-TALK, as we've been doing for 45 years. Longer elsewhere. It's the longest running radio show in the world with the same host still on the air. Yep, that's it. No one can lay claim to anything. Now, there have been shows on the air with different hosts. There have been different shows with the same host. There have been different radio stations, but never one continuous show with the same host. Why do I mention that? Who gives a damn? I just like to, I like to distinguish myself. Like, I'm the #1 president that ever lived. Kind of like that.
Wait, you're wrong.
What?
According to the Guinness Book of World Records,
yes,
the longest running radio show with the same host is the Folk Song Festival hosted by Oscar Brand from Canada, which ran for 70 years and 291 days. Oh, wait, you're right, because you're still on the air.
Right.
He's dead.
Right, ran. That's what I said, still on the air. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there have been all kinds of old effers back in the day. How long was Paul Harvey on doing his thing, man? God, he was great. I loved him. Would he be relevant today? Think back.
Oh, he had the best thing. The rest of the story was great.
Yeah. Steve, welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino. 303-713-TALK. Now, I think 713-8255. That's the studio number and the iHeart number in Denver. We also have a universal number, 303-MARTINO, that you can call 24/7. And if you call it, we will answer that. And if we're not here, then you leave a message. And we promise you to get back to you and get you on the show. So you never have to hold. Steve, what's happening? This was an issue with CenturyLink. It was kind of frustrating. But February 10th, you called CenturyLink to transfer a landline for your dad. He was going from Loveland to Westminster to an assisted care or whatever. They turned off the Loveland but did not activate Westminster. Deputy D said Deputy D's not here right now, but he was going to work on it. And
actually, I worked on that, Tom.
Oh, thank you. Let me change that. Thank you, Suze. And then
Sure.
we talked about, Suze, we talked about at the time a solution could be just a simple cell phone with big numbers and stuff that his dad could operate and forget the CenturyLink.
That's right.
So tell me what happened, guys. Tell me, Steve.
Well, I just ended up reaching out to our angel yesterday, and they got him handled within a couple hours. It was great. Easy peasy.
Okay, so they actually moved. Steve, the line was moved?
Yeah, the biggest problem all along was having them show up where they were supposed to show up. They kept going back to the
I know,
old
they kept going
address.
back to where it was turned off.
Right, and that wasn't doing any good. So I think Suze finally got it straightened out, and they showed up where they were supposed to. And when the tech got there, I had no doubt that he was going to take care of the problem, and he did in short order, and he just had to correct some wiring problems, and away we went. He called me after he was done, and my wife was over at the time, and he called me after he was done. He goes, boy, I don't really know what happened, but it sure got pretty exciting over here with all the phone calls coming in. So somebody put a fire underneath somebody. So
isn't that nice that in today's world, Steve, isn't it nice you can reach out and actually get help still? And Suze took that very personally. She's figuring, you know what, the poor guy just wants a phone. And I'm going to give the dinger to both you for your dad and for Suze. It was really good.
Hey.
Listen.
Hey.
So people who work together should not be married. Steve, he's upset I gave the dinger to his wife. She deserves it. In fact, she deserves it more for all the behind stuff. Oh, my God. You wouldn't believe how many mistakes she finds in my life. Oh, God. This is a true story.
I bet.
Years ago, and thank you for calling, years ago, and people are going to think I'm decadent and stupid, but this was years ago, years and years ago. It doesn't apply today. She found some missing money. It was in an account I never even knew I had, and it was like
$500,000.
No, 250,000. And
how much was it, Suzanne?
That's a couple hundred G.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 240.
It was under his vacuum.
Yeah, right. Anyway, not Joel. Maggie now had a Volkswagen issue from yesterday. Who knows? I use my dinger too much. I might. Well, it's not bad. You know, you got to use it once in a while. So Maggie said, "Hey, I had a Volkswagen issue," and she said it was on February 17th. She bought it, a Tiguan from Emic, and she discovered an oil leak. Now they say it'll take a few weeks to fix it. She says she's moving. And I said, well, I know that's terrible. It really is. And it's going to delay you. And you can get a loaner, but you can't take it with you. So I said, the fact that you're moving is not a problem, but let's try. Let's try to see if they'll make some special arrangements for you. And I gave it to Deputy Chopper. What happened, Maggie?
So Chopper called and spoke with Paul, the sales manager, and they 100% took care of me and gave me a new vehicle.
Oh,
wow.
my God.
Yeah. Yeah, they were great.
This even in
same year.
Whoa.
With 20,000 miles less on it than the car I bought.
Maggie,
and,
you better tell
there
people
was
about
barely any.
Tell people about the Troubleshooter Show. I want everyone to tell people about the Troubleshooter Show so they can get help.
I will.
Now, I don't mean to be a jerk here, but I'm going to be a jerk for a minute. Now, I want you to see in just 2 minutes of the show, or 5 minutes of the show, we solved 2 major problems. Do you know that on television, and I love these people, they're good young people. Steve Sager, or whatever, he's on Channel 9, he's a good guy, and the Problem Solvers on Fox 31, they're good people. Trust me, the more we have, the merrier. But do you realize in TV, they do one of those a week, maybe, or 2 a week, and they do a big story on it on television and call it good? And you just heard in the first 10 minutes of this show, 2 major problems solved. Bing, bing, bing. Now, again, I'm not throwing stones at anybody. I want these young people to come up and be strong. I want more consumer advocates than you can count, because when I started, there was no such thing on the news, nothing. The only consumer advocate when I started was Betty Furness, and she did market basket reports, meaning she'd go to the supermarket and tell you if your basket was going to cost more or less. And then there was a guy who wasn't a consumer reporter, but he was a kick-ass guy, and I kind of modeled myself behind him and the other, and Betty Furness, believe it or not, and that was Geraldo. And Geraldo was a lawyer who just decided he wanted to go into broadcasting, and he was on WABC in New York, and a local reporter there. And one of the first reports of his, not first big ones, was a mental health facility that he blew the whistle on, and the deplorable conditions people were living in. So anyway, I just digress a little, right? Because I'm an old fart. Maggie, thank you for calling.
Most people can't even imagine how bad that was when he walked in there. I think he stole a key or got a key from an employee, but I saw the old video of it.
Oh, God.
Picture a big room with just people wandering around, basically in the dark, with feces everywhere. It was unlike anything I've ever seen.
No, and we were living there at the time. You were living upstate New York at the time, right, when it happened. And
well, I don't even think I was born at that time.
Okay.
I watched it later on because I was curious how he got started.
Yeah, and he had been there a lot earlier than that, but that was his first big story. So I worked with a lot of greats. I worked with Tony Guida. I worked with and David Horowitz was doing stuff, and so I got to know and talk to these guys. It was just wonderful, And I always
didn't you meet Hannity not long ago, over 9/11?
Hannity and I became friends when I did my show on WABC in New York. He was doing a show and I was doing a show, and they were both local, and we both syndicated. And I remember Sean saying to me, and he was right, he really was. He says, Tom, you got to give people. Now, I don't know if he was right. He said years and years ago, Tom, you got to give yourself a little more politics, because everything consumer comes from politics, and you got to throw a political angle. And I said, but I think people want a relief from politics, don't they? And he says, no, I really, really think that they just want something to latch onto. And then, of course, literally at WABC, people think I'm kidding. We had a studio none of us could use, and it was the golden microphone, and it was called EIB, Excellent in Broadcasting. And actually, that wasn't really the name of the company, but EIB was on his microphone. And so that company, that was Rush's office. And Rush would go from there to Florida, and he would do a show. But he had come from California. He was just a podunk radio person they put on the air and syndicated. And Edward J. McLaughlin, the president of ABC News, left ABC, left it to form a company called EFM. It stands for Edward McLaughlin. He formed the company around Rush Limbaugh, and then started syndicating other people. One was Dr. Dean Adele, and the other one was me when they wanted to start. Then we had a falling out. But that's a long story. 303-713-8255. I remember meeting in New York with those guys. And let me tell you, Rush Limbaugh, an absolute professional, a cool guy, and a smart guy. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Stick around.
financial health is more than just really the investments. You have to look at tax consequences. You have to think about legacy planning or generational planning or your healthcare options. Those all go together with your financial health.
Join Matt Goolsby for Retire Hour to hear his team in finance, healthcare, estate, and taxes discuss changes in law, strategic planning, and answer listener questions. Submit your questions to be answered live on air at retirehour.com. Retire Hour, Sundays at 8 a.m. right here on KHOW.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show, and let's talk about CMG Financial. People are looking for mortgage loans. You want to get great rates? Well, the best out there. You can get them at CMG Financial with my friend John Clace. He works really hard to bring loans to you, like reverse loans or conventional loans or the all-in-one loan, a 30-year line of credit that you can borrow up and pay down at will, so you have a line of credit all the time, and it's like a regular mortgage. You can make higher payments or lower payments. Every dime you have in the bank counts against your average daily balance, so you get to control that. It's really cool. CMG Financial. Look for John. Talk to him. Partnerinlending.com, 303-882-6679. That's partnerinlending.com. Hey, Red Rocks Roof and Solar. I love Red Rocks because they do solar the right way. Not many people do. They certainly do. Red Rocks does the installation. They do the sales, the sales first, then that installation and follow-up service. You don't get that with most solar companies. In fact, people at your door aren't the ones you ever deal with again. At Red Rocks, you deal with them through the entire process, and they're there to support you the whole time. RedRocksRS.com. Great products, great prices, and even grants available for those who have commercial operations. 303-704-2449, 704-2449. If you need information right now, on an accident or a friend, they just got in an accident. What do I do? Or I'm in a ride share. What do I do? I got hurt. Whatever it is, you can call John Fuller. No obligation. He's a personal injury attorney. And when I say no obligation, I mean, they don't sign you up. You don't have to call a call center. You don't have to do anything except say, I want to talk to John Fuller. When you do that, he'll talk to you. You decide if you want to hire him or not. And if you do, it's on a percentage fee basis. Now, he may not be available at the second you call. Many times he is. But if not, he'll call you back. 303-597-4500. That's where you start. 303-597-4500. Get your prices. Get personalized attention. Find out what it's worth as far as that case and where you collect it. That's callfuller.com.
Hey, I hate to beat you up. Watch the time. That was way the fuck over.
All right.
On your next CMG, I'll try to remind you. Try to keep it right at 30, and I want to use it. And then
what is it? What do you need on the next one, Mark?
On the next CMG, I'll remind you, but try to keep it around 30 or 35 seconds. Then I'll clean it up. I just want a new one to rotate. But what I really want in there is cut out the middleman. These guys are the bank. They loan in all 50 states.
I can just do one for you, man. I can just do one right after the show. I can just rip one out.
I kind of like the live shit, but
okay. Well, I'll do it live even. I'll try to do one right now. If I don't get it done, fine. But I'll try to get it done. Direct lending.
Well, I just wait till it comes up, man. I like that kind of natural shit.
Do you want me to mention all three loans, conventional, reverse, and the liquid loan?
Just say all in one. Don't just say a 30-year line of credit.
Okay. But do you want me to mention all
or
three
all
of
in
them?
one? Yeah, I think, or any kind of loan for that matter. But really, it's cutting out the middleman, dealing with the bank directly.
Let me make a note of that. That's a good point.
And then bring these guys in. Diamond's here, his kid's here, Steve.
I'm absolutely going to, yeah.
And call him Steve, by the way. I'm nixing that in. And we've got an issue with house painting, and they have a new division, K&H Painting Pros.
Right. I saw that.
And to all the YouTubers out there, fuck you. Just kidding.
Well, listen, do you know that...
Starting early, Mark.
That's not Lee in there.
Who are we blocking today?
No, Lee's not here. That's the guy that runs the new division painting. Hey, what do you think of last night? We were texting back and forth. That was incredible.
Steve's in there, though, right?
Yeah, Steve's next to me.
Hey, Steve, I don't know if you know this, but whenever a company adds a new division and they want to promote them, they have to buy me a steak dinner somewhere. But that's okay. We'll talk about that later.
Deal.
Tell them there's a Sizzler right next to your place.
Sizzler. Remember? Wait, are they still around? What about Bonanza?
What's the one Shannon likes?
Do you remember Bonanza?
They got
Steakhouse?
sirloin.
Grand something Corral.
Bonanza, there you go. No, Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
Shannon's favorite joint.
With the riverfront.
Do they
And when
still
you get
have
sick of steak, you can
Do
get
they
ribs.
still have buffets?
Yeah, Golden Corral. No shit. That's what we got. All of us got Shannon for Christmas.
And he's already used it up.
I bet he has.
He already has.
So Dragon, we get him like, nice restaurants. Shannon's like, no, fuck that. I'd rather go to Golden Corral 12 times than Shannon's once.
Exactly.
We can
You
go
guys
to.
never grew up with
I think
Sizzler.
Shannon also likes dollar per scoop.
Mark, we don't want any drawers in the pantry, right?
Buck a scoop.
I
don't know. I'm going to really leave that up to you.
You don't want
what?
what?
Would you put in them? We're redoing our whole pantry, kind of like a California closet, but our walk-in pantry.
Suze.
Yes, you
When
want
it,
drawers.
when it
Yes,
comes
you
to
want drawers.
organization,
We did it.
Suze, go to
Yes,
the expert.
Tommy.
Go to the expert when it comes to organization. Come on.
seconds.
I'll give you a free
care guides you need to
consultation
help,
always.
complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Want to mention we have Steve with us, Steve Diamond, C and Lee Diamond. Steve is Lee's son, and I love when fathers and sons work together, and they're at K&H Home Solutions, which started out KH Windows, so the website's khwindows.com, khwindows.com. They also are introducing a new division, and that's Andy over there with K&H Painting Pros, and I love this. Well, here's what I love. I love when a company with heritage brings on new products and services, because then you still have the heritage, and then you have the reliability of that heritage. So, they've been around 65 years. Of course, Steve wasn't born when it started, and his dad might have been a baby too. I don't know, but when it started 65 years ago from Henry Seligman, I believe it was, and Henry started that, and his wife Kay, therefore the name K&H, and then it was sold to somebody that I know very well, and then it was sold to Lee and Steve years ago. And
what I don't get is, haven't you guys done painting forever though? When you guys do siding and stuff, or what?
Yeah, generally our siding comes pre-painted.
Yeah,
siding comes
it's
pre-painted.
impregnated.
Yeah,
got it.
And
we're
Ted-
bringing on a painting division here.
Ted Rowland once in a while said, the previous owner said, when they needed miscellaneous painting, they would just sub it out, or the homeowner would find somebody. And now it's all in one. They can send Andy out there and his team to take care of it. Let me go to Joel. He has an issue with house painting, actually, by coincidence. And then I'll ask you about the house painting part. Joel, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Tom?
Good, man. What's happening with you?
So I'm kind of in a bind, and never called the show before, but I'm getting some exterior paint done. I have a company called, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on the air, but it's,
no, you can
Rhino
mention.
Painting.
Listen, you can mention anything you want as long as it's the truth, or the truth in your opinion, without you making up stories and lying. So you are having an issue with a house painter.
Yeah, he quoted me to start with the garage. We got our tax returns. We're on a budget. But I have a North Denver house. I have a separate detached garage.
Yeah.
It
Well,
has
what's
some
the
MDF
issue, bro?
siding
What is
on
the
that, on
issue?
the lower floor panels.
Yeah.
Well, he's been doing work since Monday, and there was no prep work done. It got rained on after they sprayed a layer of paint Monday, and there was a rainstorm at the end of the day. Some of the MDF siding's been warped. I pulled them off the job. I'm not happy with the work. The coating, the spray job looks uneven, and upon talking to another paint company, he was saying I wouldn't even be doing exterior paint this time of the year. Not
Okay,
even until April.
when did you?
So I pulled
Here's
him
what I
off.
want to
He's
know.
wanting
How?
half
First of
what
all,
he
how
quoted.
did you find the painter?
He came up to my door and he dropped off a flyer.
Oh
on
yeah,
Christmas
that's
Eve.
good. They knocked
So I held
yeah.
on to it. And,
Solicitation.
upon receiving,
Let me tell you about the pool of solicitation. What I mean by this, the pool of solicitation doesn't mean everyone's a crook, but out of a pool of companies that solicit, 90% of them are terrible. So I'm not saying that every single person that comes to your door is terrible. What I'm saying is you have more of a chance being ripped off by the pool of solicitation. And that switches around. Instead of 90% being bad, 90% is good and 10% are bad when you do the proactivity. So these guys came to your door, you hired them, and they did a bad job. Is that it in a nutshell?
they haven't finished. I pulled them off the job and told them to pick up their tools.
Okay.
And he's wanting half of what he quoted for materials.
What did he quote? Hold on. What was the entire contract?
And I didn't sign anything. It was verbal. He did send some invoices.
Wait a minute.
It was 15 for the house, which is mostly brick, and then 25 to do the siding on the garage and paint it.
25 what?
100.
Okay. So this painting contractor, what you say the name is?
R-A-U-N-O.
R-A-U-N-O.
Painting. Byron Rana.
So that's his name?
I'm sorry. It's R-U-A-N-O.
Rona, whatever. Is that his name? Sir?
Yeah, I believe it's his last name. First name is Byron.
Okay. Listen, here's what I want to ask. It was so bad you had to pull him off the job, but you have nothing to show, nothing at all, on what it was supposed to cost or what he was going to do as far as process. I mean, all you have are some loose invoices.
How much does he want?
Yeah, the total, all said and done, once we spoke and met, and he quoted it, would be $4,000. That was a verbal agreement. And he's wanting $2,000 to pull off the job for materials.
Well, let me
And he
ask
said
you
he's not
something.
charging labor,
Does he
but
have materials left over that you get to keep, or is that for what he's done so far?
I asked him, he has 5 gallons of paint left if he wanted to drop those off, but the siding is already on the house and it's been warped and it already needs to be replaced.
What do you mean paint doesn't warp? What are you talking about?
He said siding. Did the guy put siding on the entire garage?
Siding. He put the lower 4 panels of the MDF 12-inch siding around the perimeter of the garage. He said it was pre-primed, but he never primed it. They sprayed it with paint, and then it rained, and now it's wavy all the way down the side of the house.
Okay, so you got a guy that came to your door, you got nothing in writing, and then you had a bad job. So this is pretty typical. What I want to know is, do you think that if you were expecting to pay $4,000, which by the way might be artificially low, but if you were expecting to pay $4,000 and he wants $2,000, would you be upside down? In other words, do you have to start from scratch and tear everything off?
Yeah, I spoke with another painter. He was saying it might cost $1,500 just to fix what they did.
Okay,
aside from
here's what I want to ask you. How'd you find the other painter?
He did our interior when we bought the house. He's a friend who runs a company himself.
Okay, and you've used him before and you like him. Why didn't you use him this time around?
I mean, we are on a budget, and it seemed like a good cost. I haven't found somebody who was able to source the siding that was on there originally. And he said he had it. So,
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, we all make mistakes. So here's your choice, bro. It's very easy. You go after, you don't pay him a dime. He's going to put a lien on your house. You're going to fight it. Because the lien's going to drop off. If this guy doesn't sound like he's going to go ahead and foreclose on it.
Let's get his info, too, and maybe we can reach out to him and try to get a better deal or something.
A better deal? Wait, it's not a better deal. The guy, it's going to take $1,500 to fix what he screwed up.
Yeah, but if he's getting, what I'm saying is, I'd like to hear his side of the story, but also, if there is some materials, maybe some more siding, something. I mean, I don't know. Let's see.
Well, that's certainly always a good idea to let call.
Give me 5 gallons of paint.
Yeah, so give Kelly the information that you have on him.
Very good idea. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Waterpros.net. Whole house water systems for the best price you'll ever find anywhere. That's right. Master plumbers coming in and doing it for $31.95. Whole house chemical removals ever. You'll never have those chemicals again. And then drinking water and softening, all for $31.95. Unbelievable. Waterpros.net. 303-862-5554.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Yeah, we got one crash on 225 heading southbound at Mississippi. It looks like a bit of a backup in the area. It's not a solid jam back towards Alameda. Sluggish there. As you're continuing, if you're heading south on 225 in towards I-25, the ramp getting onto Northtown seems to be backed up. I-25 has been running a little sluggish from 225 up towards Yale. Parker in Yale continues to tie up if you're northbound or coming through the intersection. 270 is better for us. I-25 up north and into downtown. Looks like speeds are picking back up. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This week on Red Pilled America, we answer the question, when should companies get political? By telling the epic story behind one of the most successful boycotts in American history. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America, a storytelling show.
TheArtOfGranite.com, that's the website, and you'll find The Art of Granite. They do more than granite. But here's what they really do that is their hallmark. They give you a quote on the phone for your job from just a description, and maybe you send them a pic or two. You know, Mitch Floria and I have been doing business together for years, whether it's stone, natural stone, man-made stone, man-made materials. They do it all. Wholesale on all materials. Tear out and haul away is always free. And quotes on the phone are always reliable. TheArtOfGranite.com, 303-386-5919. I love these guys. 303-386-5919. Hey, speaking of great deals, 888heating.com, you know what they do? They do high-efficiency heating and air, and the units go together. You can get them right now at the best price ever for high efficiency. That's right. He says you find the same efficiency and the same product for a better price. You can't. He guarantees the lowest price. That's 888heating.com, 303-770-2776. And we know Garrett and his team, and you can depend on them. 770-2776. Okay,
See, there's a lot of goofball painters out there.
Let's see here, pantry. Is it a reach-in or a walk-in? It's a walk-in. I already have the dimensions. Okay, accept.
Yeah, it looks like he started in LLC.
How do I open up that? Oh, my.
Oh, you go
to my designs. And then you started that one. Go to
started
this one.
it when? Oh, okay.
Click on the design ID.
Yeah.
Edit.
There's no way
He
you wouldn't even be able to put a lien on the house with that standing.
Do-it-yourself design tool. Get started for free. Pantry.
I can barely hear you. I mean, I can hear you, but barely.
What would you like me to do?
Well, something's wrong. Why can't I hear her right?
Don't know.
I think I'm hearing her literally from his monitor.
Oh, there you go. Try her now. Sorry. That was my fault. That was my fault.
Go ahead, Kelly, talk.
Okay, what
Yeah,
would
perfect.
you like me to do? I have his name, I have his number.
Get him on air.
But we don't want to tell the caller?
No, just get him on air. What do you mean, don't tell the caller? There's no purpose in bringing it up. He gave you the info, try to get the guy on. You got to tell the guy you're calling if that's what you're asking. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we staying on that topic, or is that...
No, he's gonna try to get the painter on the air.
I mean, the weather is the big thing. It shouldn't drop below 35 if we're painting an exterior.
You need to get in on that
Yeah.
stuff. You got to just chime in.
Yeah. I didn't know how
I told him
feedback
to just
goes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So how do they paint in Alaska?
It's a good question.
Push it to the 24 hours of sun time.
Yeah, okay. You find out in something that's got more shit.
I don't know if they got more shit, but I started it. Top shelf height. I can change that. That's the nice thing. What are 9-foot ceilings? That's 96 and... God, my man.
I'm doing very, very well. So
She's getting pretty good, actually, dragging and getting people on.
We can get more high.
I'm glad you think so.
Well, here's the problem. It's when I really push her.
And we wanted to just ask you a few questions on air because Joel seems to be a little bit dissatisfied with the service he was receiving.
And we want your side of the story.
Make sure that you had the opportunity.
I wonder if this guy just found a better price. That happens.
Talk about your business and what you do and answer some questions so that we can make sure. I don't know what that scream is.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Sir, are you still there? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I just...
We just want his side of the story.
Yeah, so we just wanted to ask you a few questions about your
I'm giving this
Always
one...
two sides to a story.
I'm giving this a 35% shot.
And of course, you know, we always give small businesses...
She likes to use 170 words when 12 will do.
Yeah, I know.
On our show.
But sometimes that hangs them. Or sometimes they hang themselves.
I'm not exactly sure what that's about.
Doesn't matter.
She wears them down by asking about the color of their shoes.
Byron?
10 seconds.
Byron.
This message is brought to you by the American Water Works Association and your local water provider.
Hello, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So, Andy, I'll bet you get a lot of times when you can't beat a quote on painting. And the reason you can't is because you know what it takes to do it the right way. And I heard that 90% is prep.
Yeah, that's right. You know, prep is the most important thing on a paint job. You know, in this scenario with the garage and Joel's project, you know, power washing to clean off any dirt, debris that is embedded on the surface is going to be key. Outside of the fact that right now we're in a gray area in terms of weather temperature. Not necessarily during the day. Colorado sun's pretty hot, but at night we're dropping well below 32, and we're working with water-based products. So water freezes at 32. So if that's any indication, you know, we're kind of in a gray area. So most paint is formulated to be applied at 35 degrees, but we really like to see 24 to 36 hours above 35 degrees for a proper cure.
Okay.
So.
Hey, Joel, did this guy paint when it was under 35, at least at night?
Joel? Is Joel there? Joel, are you still there?
Joel. Yeah. Did he paint when it was negative, or not negative, but under 35?
It was on Monday, so it was a 60-degree day. But by the end of the day, the storm rolled in, and it, instead of snowing, it actually rained on the fresh paint. It got cold overnight.
Yeah, so, ethically, as a paint company, I would want to look at the forecasts, and whether they saw snow or rain in the forecast, that's something where I would have, hey, we're going to pull off for a day or two and revisit this when we have weather that's appropriate, because they may have painted it at, we'll just say 40 degrees, but that slows down the curing process of the product. So we'd really want to see it warmer than that, and then that rain basically washed away any results that you're going to get out of that product.
Well, we know the guy doesn't want full payment. I'm curious what he did, but we're going to find out, Tom, because we've got this guy on, the contractor, Byron. Go ahead.
That's very nice.
Hey, Byron, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
So, Byron, why do you feel that you should get $2,000 when another contractor said just to fix what you did wrong is going to cost $1,500? Now, we haven't seen the job. We're just going by what the homeowner, Joel, is telling us. Go ahead, Byron.
Okay, because I change a lot of wood. I change a lot of siding. You can go to see how much is the price on the siding. I'm ready to put the siding, and I'm ready to buy the paint. And for that, all the job, I charge $45. And I asked Joy, pay me $2,000 because I'm ready to change the garage.
Yeah.
Siding. I change a lot of siding, and I buy siding, I buy a lot of paint.
But Byron, they said it was done wrong, and they have to correct it. Do you not believe that?
No, you can go to see.
Okay.
The job is good.
Maybe we should have it checked out. Joel, you're positive
what
that...
area is this in?
Yeah, what area?
Yeah, you can go check because I buy...
where is it, though? Is it like Lakewood or Parker or Castle Rock? Where is it?
Joel?
It's Denver.
Hey, we can have... Maybe Andy can run over and look at it. Well, not today, but when he gets a chance, and just give an opinion on this.
Either that... If he's willing to do that, that'd be great. The K&H painting guys, or Steve the painter, or someone. But I would love that. Andy, would you be willing to do that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a good middle ground to figure out what's going on and what the remedy is to fix it.
So, Andy, what I'd like you to specifically look at, and this is K&H Painting Pros with khwindows.com, what I would like the painting pros to look at is if truly there is any value in the work done, or will it have to be dismantled and redone because of the siding? But Byron, you deserve at least someone to look at it, because we don't know. We're going by what Joel's saying, and we'd be happy to have somebody come over. And Joel, I think you'd be happy to have an independent look at it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I told Byron, I just want it to be done right, and
okay.
Hey,
all right.
I'm not trying to stir anything up, but I just.
And what are your alternatives really? Right now, we have to just see what we can do. Now, Byron, how long have you been in business?
I'm being told to wait until April.
I'm 20 years already.
And okay.
I don't have any problems with anybody. If you want, I can give you a reference. And everybody is happy with my work.
Okay.
And right now, I don't charge 45 because he say the job is bad. When I change a lot of wood, and I ask if he want me to finish up the job, I can finish up good. If no, he say I can pay you $2,000. Okay, pay me $2,000 and I can go. It's not a problem.
Hey, Byron, you know what we're going to do? We're going to send an independent person over there to look at it. If you want to be there when we look at it, you can do that too. I mean, listen, this doesn't have to be adversarial or conflict.
The guy sounds pretty solid coming on. We appreciate you coming on. Let me ask you something though, Byron. Do you agree that the paint's messed up because it rained or whatever? But you're saying the siding and the other work you did was good, and that's why you want to $2,500. Am I correct?
I don't want a 25. I say 2,000.
That's fine.
I say 2,000.
But is that why? Did I describe it right?
Yeah, the wood and everything is good. And I asked Joel this morning if something happened with the rain the last day, I can put another coat of paint in the house. It's not a problem for me. And he said, no, I don't want it. I don't know. It's easy.
Hey, Andy, when do you think you could get out there for real?
I can get out there as soon as tomorrow. I mean, seeing it is believing it, right? Like, we've got two sides to the story, and I'm a firm believer in just seeing
Tom,
what's going
I love
on.
how this one's going. We're going to find out tomorrow what's going on.
Okay, good. This is great.
Well, if you there tomorrow, I can go tomorrow too, and you can see if it's my problem.
Good.
He don't want to pay me anything.
All right.
I think he don't want to pay anything, and I expend a lot of money on the paint and the wood. I don't charge 45. I charge 2,000 for my wood, for my work.
We get it, man. We're going to check it out tomorrow. Hey, we really appreciate you coming on, and we'll reach out to you, so hold tight.
Okay, we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. It would be really nice if we give the right...
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Music Saved Me podcast.
We got one crash on 225 heading southbound.
It's just how it is listed in the log as restore your hair.
Thank you.
Back towards Alameda. Sluggish there. As you're continuing, if you're heading south on 225 in towards I-25, the ramp getting on to northbound seems to be backed up. I-25 has been running a little sluggish from 225 up towards Yale. Parker in Yale continues to tie up if you're northbound or coming through the intersection. 270 is better for us. I-25 up north and into downtown. Looks like speeds are picking back up. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
I'm Lynn Hoffman, and lucky me, I get to host the Music Saved Me podcast, the podcast that explores the healing and transformative power of music. You can listen to the Music Saved Me podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
So this is really a great message. Listen closely. Istanbul, Turkey is emerging as a capital of medical tourism. Istanbul, Turkey, where more than 1 million patients from all over the world visit each year for all kinds of procedures. One of them is hair replacement transplants. You've heard everyone talking about it, the same thing they do in America, except they do it for maybe half or a third of the cost. It's that simple. RecoverYourHair.com. And this was put together by a Colorado man who says, I had it done after seeing it done, and now I want to make this available to others. He arranges the entire thing, and you get a long weekend or however long you want in Istanbul, Turkey. RecoverYourHair.com for more information. RecoverYourHair.com. I think you'll like what you see, and the local contact makes it easy to do. So you journey to their comprehensive treatments and personalized care. Now, Gravina's. We're talking about Gravina's as a heritage company. We love heritage companies, as you know. Gravina's have been around 65 or more years as well. Gravina's, the original company, is the original family on 950 West Evans, and they have 50 lines of windows. They have doors. They have siding as well. So if you're looking for heritage and a variety of products, Gravina's, as they say, has the greatest windows. Now, Gravina's, Gravina. Now, let me just tell you, that is their actual website, gravinas.com or 303 Gravina.
Go on, get out of here.
It's Mellow Wednesday at the Troubleshooter Show. I am in a good mood.
Yes, you are.
Tom is in a good mood.
I'm not.
Very chill day so far.
Kelly's working. Kelly's getting people on the air, which is great.
And no foul language.
And no foul language.
Except from Bo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't go number 2 anymore.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Who's over there?
Guess.
I'm here, Mark.
Deputy Dimitri.
Hey, how's it going over there at the big fancy studio?
It's going good, man. You know what I found out?
No, what?
I dived a little more into that whole car problem. You know what I'm talking about, the warranty one?
Shut up.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious. And the deeper I dived, the more I realized how wrong Tom was. I mean, I got to the point where I couldn't even understand any of his responses.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Get me the tape. Get me the recording or shut up.
I asked the warranty company what they want me to give them for Valentine's Day, because as Tom pointed out, I'm so deeply in love with him.
Oh, you are. I remember that.
Love affair, I said.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that gift
That's
card
what I
with
said.
Barry's on the warranty company on Valentine's Day.
It is kind of weird you had a crush on him.
Yeah, well, weirder things have happened.
I've heard of people like falling in love with animals, but never a company.
Well, I didn't realize until Tom, opened my eyes to what was really going on.
Yeah, they snookered you, pulled the wool over your eyes, bamboozled you.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
They're still inside you.
Hey, and by the way, that was half off, so the lady settled the matter with him for $3,200 instead of $6,500.
That includes the $1,000 that she already paid?
Yeah, that includes the $1,000.
So she's only going to pay 20 something or 2,000.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah, total of $3,200.
That's way better than she was facing before she called the show.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, well, that's half off. Yeah.
And if we went the direction Tom wanted to go, she would have paid $8,000
plus interest.
Storage fees and whatnot because the truck's been there forever.
Tom, do you wake up in the morning and go, God, where is Mark's voice? I need to hear his voice today.
Yeah,
I mean, is that something that happens on the daily?
Yes, I absolutely dream of your voice.
Yeah. Suzanne says I got a sexy voice.
Yeah.
I just wanted to verify your.
What's up, baby? It's Pint Day in Colorado. Yeah. Come on over to bed early, baby. I'm watching Fox News. Hannity's interviewing Trump later. Get under the covers with me.
To look at the situation, and we will make sure that we have it.
There are people online where you give them the dimensions and then they send you back a design. They don't come to your house. I don't know if you want me to do that.
But then they ship you the stuff out, or do they do the install?
Mark, I don't know. I mean,
10 seconds, guys.
Wrong with you? Our country is broke to broke.
The discourse is yours to join.
The fox isn't watching the hen house anymore.
On Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Joel, your issue with house painting we're going to take care of, so let's put that to bed right now. And then what we're going to do, meaning, is we're going to have an expert look at it and get the definitive answer. So, with the remaining few minutes, I'll just let Mark get pissed off from these texts I'm getting from the same old people I get that say, so I helped
It's only
Mark.
one guy.
No. Actually, I have 3 or 4 of them. One is Monty. The other is Cliff. I have another guy named Robert and Richard. Now, but there are various ones that I think they're literally just gaslighting. I don't think they even actually mean what they say. So it said, let me just give you the conglomerate. So once Mark heard that speech, how could he ever justify what Trump is doing? He was a blowhard, and the Democrats were right in protesting everything he said.
See, people like that, they're fake. That's not even a real person, Tom.
So you really think they're just doing that to get you or to get us pissed or to just, what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even. I mean, it doesn't irritate me. Even CNN said, "Hey, that was pretty good." I mean, they can't stand
Here's
Trump.
what I don't understand about the whole speech thing. I don't understand how they could not cheer for the local heroes, at least, like the kid that wanted to get into West Point, that one girl that was injured with a brain injury. Now she's getting better, and she was trampled by a transgender guy. I mean, look, he did tread on some holy waters, right? That men are men and women are women, okay? Democrats do not.
How dare he?
Democrats do not believe it. They believe you are who you want to be.
That doesn't make any sense when it comes to like the guy that is going to West Point now. It doesn't have anything to do with that kid that had the traumatic brain injury and always wanted to be a police officer.
Kid that became an honorary member.
It's crazy.
Of the Secret Service.
Well, what are you going to do once you're delusional? How do you get out of there? I don't know how you change your mind. I don't know how you become a real person after you go that far. I don't know, Tom. I wish I did know, because the new mellow Mark would love to help these people.
But I really want to talk about, and I'm serious now.
If you're a liberal in need,
I want to
303
talk about
Martino.
Coming up inflation as well, because they say Trump is making it worse, not better, and they have stats to prove it. I'm Tom Martino. What do you think? What do you,
About what?
Anything.
About that lady in the car warranty.
Oh, stop.
Did you watch the speech, D?
No, I just figured I'll probably read a... No, I kind of correctly forecast it was going to be an hour and a half.
Mark and I were texting back and forth like we always do.
I prefer to get the highlights in the press that I read over the next few days.
Yeah.
So
what is the press saying that you've read?
Well, it's been overwhelmingly positively received in a monster poll that came out today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did CNN have that poll, I wonder?
Hang on, I need to pull it
CNN's poll was pretty high on it, too. What was the poll you're talking about, though?
So, give me a minute to look it up again. It was very early in the morning. So,
Are you familiar with the show?
but it was truly like a monster poll. Here it is.
Cool.
It's a CBS poll, actually.
Oh, and that would skew the other way, if anything.
Yeah, it's monstrously favorable. I'm going to email both of you a link to it.
Why don't you make it a little quicker, bro?
How's that?
Email. I'm dying to see it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Well, I need to type stuff up, and I'm using my mouth instead. Hold on.
The only caveat is you need to go on air in order.
Hey, they found that. Tom, did you read, though? They found that 360-year-old person.
Oh, my God. When people... Well, why were people saying he was lying about that?
Well, she was right there. It's Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, you're right.
No, so here's the deal. I'll tell you the real truth on that. There is a system in Social Security where all these people are, the 360-year-old. But that doesn't mean they're all getting checks by any stretch. In fact, just a small amount of them are probably receiving checks. Well, you know Frank is. Frank's definitely getting one.
Oh, my God, it's so wonderful.
If I could go back and model what kind of father I'd be, I'd go back and model it after Frank.
Oh, my God.
Remember how much we love that show?
Oh, my God. You know, I never saw the whole thing yet.
Addie loves it. Addie, that was one of Addie's favorite shows growing up.
Okay. You know, oh, man. You know, it's really cool. I mean, the way he just, every check they get is a scam.
Everything. His whole life's a scam. It's great. All right, Dimitri, Trump's monster poll. Holy shit, he's not kidding. It's CBS.
I know it, which is really weird because they like to see.
Everybody approves. A large majority.
76% of viewers.
You really believe that?
That's unbelievable.
That's what CBS says, and I'm sure it made.
And then it's even better. Listen to this. Time Trump spent on issues you care about, 63% a lot, 28% a little, and then only 9% none at all. Yeah. He absolutely crushed it.
Yeah.
God, what are these Dems going to do?
Let's look.
Tom, you've got to be feeling the pain.
What are you talking about? What is he talking about?
He's implying that you're a dyed-in-the-wool liberal.
Full on Trump's 2025
undercover liberal.
Let's look at.
God, look at that poll. That's CBS, dude.
What is it?
CBS.
Are you shitting me? Is this for
Don't know
real?
if you're on a speakerphone or anything like
What
that.
does CNN say about it?
And can't listen to you, so
CNN is. I started reading the article. They didn't even give the numbers, but they said it was in Trump's favor. So I'm thinking it was probably a blowout, and they didn't want to go there.
That's a different radio show.
I mean, I'm not kidding.
So the number you need to dial into is
Also, IRS is going to be cutting half of its remaining workforce.
I know, man. I love it. I love it. I love all these people getting canned that don't go to work. I mean, if you want to work, show up and go to work.
I know. He said, we're asking them to come to work, and everybody claps except the Democrats.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, how dare you make us come to work?
Honest to God, do
They-
they feel
they
have
are
the
so
country-
lost.
Do they feel they have the pulse of the country right now? They have the pulse of
Oh, my God.
of a few weirdos. And Monty.
They have the pulse of Gene Hackman. Here's the deal.
Monty.
They need somebody. It's not going to be the guy from California. It's not going to be the Pennsylvania guy. They need an outlier to come in, somebody in their 40s that's energetic. No, yeah, Polis, that's right.
No, Mark.
Polis is their guy.
I want Mark to be in government.
My God. Oh, there's too much in my past, Tom. It would be horrible.
It would be wonderful.
It'd be just horrible. It'd be.
Wouldn't you want to see Mark?
I can't even
You
imagine.
trying to get us killed, Tommy?
My military school.
I'd like to
record
see
would
him
come
as
out.
his
That-
press
that would be
secretary.
unbelievable.
Imagine Mark as Trump's press secretary. What are you, a moron?
Shut up, you
move on.
moron.
What are you, a moron? Let's move on.
Get the fuck out.
Hey, who let you the fuck in here?
Hey, that's got to be the hardest job in the world, though, right? Have you ever watched those people? Holy shit. That one for Biden, that poor woman, holy shit.
Both of them.
Which one?
Both
What are we
of them.
talking
What was
about? What is he
Pierre?
talking about?
Pierre for Biden coming out every day
I know.
defending him.
I know.
Defending how the border, he's doing everything he can. Trump comes in and goes from, did you see those numbers last night? It was absolutely amazing. Like February of last year was 38,000 people came through. This year it was like 400.
That woman, that Jean-Pierre or something, she's the Baghdad
Yeah, that's
Bob.
her.
Remember Baghdad Bob during the first Gulf War?
Oh, yeah.
Tell them how they're winning.
There are people behind him being shot and buildings falling. He's saying, we're holding our own and we're doing very well.
Driving
and
backwards.
Mark, do you remember that guy? And you can see in the back people getting carried away. And
So she was the Baghdad Bob of the Biden.
they didn't even know enough to frame it differently. We have no destruction here at all. He's standing above rubble. Do you remember
What
that,
side
Mark?
was he on? No.
Oh my!
What side was he on?
Oh my God! He was the
fighting a good
spokesperson
fight.
for
On Denver's talk station.
The station I keep it on.
630 KHOW.
The spokesperson for Iraq.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
That's my name, Tom Martino here, 45 years, going strong, solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. We have a guest in the studio today from K&H Home Solutions. We can talk about some texts I'm getting for them, and then we have other things going on. We're going to go right to the phones, and this hour brought to you by Renew Home Innovations for shower conversions, second to none with sheet porcelain. They're so beautiful, and they can do them in 2 or 3 days, and they have all kinds of financing options. I mean, you will never see anything more beautiful than sheet porcelain with you don't need any grout lines or anything, no maintenance, and then you can have the shower with perimeter drains, and they customize them for you. 303-904-2000. So Claudia says she needs help. This sounds pretty serious. Let's talk to Claudia. Hello, Claudia. Thank you for calling us. I hope we can help. What's going on, Claudia?
Well,
we have a gentleman in our town who's paralyzed. I'm sorry, I have a cold, so please forgive me.
Oh, it's
He's
okay.
paralyzed from the waist down. He has an old piece of junk car that he uses with jerry-rigged handicap.
Now, when you
The car's
say in your
falling
town,
apart.
what are we talking about?
Commerce City.
Okay, and how do you know him?
Actually, I was contacted by one of the council members this morning because I've done a lot of this stuff before, finding things for people, but I thought maybe you had an idea of which way I could go to see if there would be someone out there that would have a nice used van that he could get. He doesn't even have a ramp. He slides down a hunk of wood.
No, wait a minute. He gets on and off sliding down a hunk of wood, and then he has his wheelchair he carries.
A piece of plywood that he slides to get out and out of his car. He doesn't have a ramp for that thing either.
And how does he get his wheelchair out?
And then he just pulls it out with a rope. He's very, very
How old is this man?
self-sufficient. He doesn't have much of anything. So we're just trying to find the direction. And I thought maybe you could give me a direction.
Tell me about him. Is he old or young, and what does he do around
He's
town?
about 65.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long, and basically he just needs basic transportation.
That's all he needs is something handicapped that he can get in
And
and out
why
of.
did a city council member call you? Did someone go to city council about it?
No, I've been out here for 100 years, and I'm really good friends with some of the council people out here, and they know that I've done a lot of this work before in my lifetime.
Yeah, a community activist, we call them. So you help people, but why did it get to their attention? How did they find out about this guy needing...
Because he goes every morning. We have a donut shop here. I think you've seen it on the news. It's one of the oldest donut shops. And he goes there every morning to visit with the guys, the council, whoever is there. And they go out and they help him get out of his car. And then they help him get back in his car. But they don't know how he manages to get in and out of the car by himself all the time by his house with what he has to do.
Is the van right now, is it broken down?
It's a car. It's an old car that's probably got some handbrakes and stuff that's been put in it a long time ago.
So right now, though, it's still running, right? Even though it's on its last leg?
Yeah, it's still running, and so we're just starting to do some searching, and I listen to you all the time, and I thought, well, maybe he could give me some.
Now,
I've been out of the business for a while, so I don't need to go anymore.
I am wondering if maybe, like, somebody has some kind of handicap accessible van or a van that he could use or an old one that they would donate. That might happen. We never know. It could be old. It could be, but he needs basically what we're talking about is he needs a handicapped accessible van.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, he's getting older at 65. It's getting harder and harder, I would imagine, on his arms and his upper torso to move himself around like that.
How does do you know where does he live and all of that? Do you have any idea about that?
I have a vague idea where he is at, and they're probably just some lower end apartments that we have, because I don't think he has anything. But I'm just in the middle of doing some research on all of that. But I thought maybe Mr. Martino could give
Well, we're
me
going to
some
start.
direction.
Let's at least start, right? Now, that's what we do. Let's just start it. Let's start by looking for used, accessible vans. They don't have to be fancy. They can be even hand cranked, because this guy would probably think that was a luxury if he could just swing an arm out and raise and lower his wheelchair. He would think that was
Absolutely.
So if we can find that, that would be wonderful. And then if we have to raise some money, we could try to do that. I want to just verify the story, of course, and all of that. So, Kachina, could you get basic information from her? And then, Bo, if you could do me a favor and just start a cursory search of anything like vans or anything like that, just to see if we could help out.
Yeah, I've already started, and I was going to give a call over to Lincoln Auto Tech. They may have.
Now, why Lincoln Auto Tech?
Like that.
Is that the
they
vocational
fix a lot
school?
of- It's a vocational school, and sometimes they will fix up cars for people in need. So I'm thinking, I wonder if his existing vehicle can be modified somehow. And Lincoln Auto Tech may be an avenue to have that done if the existing vehicle can be modified. Claudia?
What were you going to say, Deputy D?
Claudia, while they were talking, I looked up this website. It's called the Mobility Resource, and they list, looks like at least 5 Colorado agencies and private parties or private organizations that provide grants, either in full or partial grants for people to acquire wheelchair vans.
I wonder if that'll take forever. I mean, I don't know.
It might, but they have phone numbers for all of these locations. And so Claudia or someone else can just start calling to get an overview of what the process will be like. Claudia, do you have something to write this with?
Claudia?
Yes.
We also want you to call this place.
I see it too.
We're going to still help, but we
Okay.
want you to make some calls as well. Go ahead.
It's called the
Oh,
Mobility.
I don't mind doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Mobility Resource, themobilityresource.com. Themobilityresource.com. And right there.
Resource.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they list, looks like at least 6 organizations here in Colorado that provide either full or partial funding for wheelchair adapted vans. So you may as well give them all a call just to see what the process is like. That's a good place to start, at least.
Sure. And I will be working with the councilman, Sean Ford, from out here.
Oh, even better.
Good. And then Deputy Bo, who's in the studio, will be contacting you. And what we'll do is we'll just sift through these and see if we can find somebody. Or maybe someone listening right now says, you know what? I know so-and-so just passed away and his widow has a van, or we have a van that we used to have or that we don't use anymore, whatever, so that we used to use. So let's just see what we can do. But it all starts with this phone call, doesn't it?
Right
So you've done
Yes,
something.
it does.
You've done something very kind to be involved. What else do you get involved in Commerce City? I find community activism very thankless. It's very thankless sometimes. You try to right the wrongs and you try to make things right. What kind of things do you are a challenge to you?
Well, I'm kind of semi-retired, but we had our own nonprofit housing corporation where we helped people get settled in houses and do work on them to get to own them. We've done that. I used to work with one of the companies called Beeline Fix for low-cost spay and neuters because people just don't have the money for that. That's very expensive. I ran a non-profit, non-kill animal shelter.
Now, I wonder if any of my staff, I'm asking my staff, if any of them can read my mind as to why I'm grilling her right now for information. Why? Can anybody guess? Any ideas? All right. Come on. It's not obvious.
Let me take a stab at it.
Yes.
Another deputy.
A deputy, yes.
A female deputy.
A female. Well,
wait. I'm making assumptions.
Yeah, but
No,
it doesn't.
I am female.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what you are, but you sound very capable. And again, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but put her on hold and just see if she'd like to help us from time to time, case by case. It would be wonderful. I'm Tom Martino. More coming up.
Regen Revolution has helped me so much in terms of getting mobile and active again, and now they'll be helping me and you at their new location near Old Town in Arvada. It's an expanded facility, so an even better version of the great care you've come to know from Regen Revolution. The combination of regenerative medicine and more traditional treatment modalities have gotten me back to being able to play sports and exercise in ways I thought I might never do again. Learn more at regenrev.com. That's REGENREV.com.
ZeroResDenver.com. Zero Res. Spell it either way. It means the same thing. No residue, a pure, wonderful clean of your carpets or your tile and grout, your ductwork, your upholstery, your mattresses. They can clean just about anything. ZeroResDenver.com. I literally had them clean, I swear to God, the inside of my helicopter. I did. They are the best. Now, I love it that you don't have any harmful chemicals or residue, and you don't want that when you're closed up in a cockpit or when you're in your house and your kids are crawling around. So I'm telling you right now, if you want a clean that not just looks clean, but feels clean and is safe, you want ZeroResDenver.com. 3 rooms at $109 right now, $75 off duct cleaning. Get an early start on your spring cleaning. Give them a call, 303-471-5150, 471-5150. Get Zero Resified today. That's ZeroResDenver.com. John Fuller is a personal injury attorney, and I hope you really never need him, but if ever you're in an accident or you need information, you can call John and talk to him directly, whether you hire him or not. Now, here's what the good news is. You just ask to talk to him. You won't be shuttled to any kind of long, involved process. They'll just find him and he'll call you or you'll talk to him when he's there. And then what's going to happen is he's going to give you information on your case. He'll give you what he thinks the value is, where to collect, what to do next. You decide if you want to hire him. There's no obligation. 303-597-4500, 597-4500. Call him today if you have any questions. 597-4500. If you're looking for a safe, conservative investment that anyone can do, starting at just a few $100 a month, what about getting a life insurance policy? This would be great for your kids because the cost of insurance is pretty low when they're young. And then they overfund it every month, or you do it for them. And it grows tax-free, literally tax-free, because you can pull it out tax-free. There is a way to do it. Now, I know people say tax-deferred, but Joe Chiano and his team can show you how to build that up for your children as tax-free income later in life or a college fund. Really, check them out. BecomeTheBanker.org, 303-779-6600.
All right, I BCC'd you on this one. Did I miss something? My Corona. Hey, language, buddy. Where's this suite at? I don't know where that's at. You guys do you have any relationship to Jamie Dimon?
No.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, that's even spelled different.
Neil's my uncle, though.
You lying? I already see you.
Yeah.
You didn't know that? We talked about that for like 45 minutes last time. When he was little, he used to go to all the shows and stuff.
He's my great uncle.
Is that on your dad's side or mom's side?
Dad's.
Your dad's side?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know, Tom? Not only is that his uncle, do you know who his do you know who his mother was married to before his dad?
God. Who?
Michael Jackson. Not only is he from Neil Diamond, but he's also part Michael Jackson.
I don't get the
10
joke.
seconds.
With family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow.
All right.
See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Hey, did we hoodwink that woman into being one of our deputies, Kachina? Did you talk to her off the air? You know,
I got her information.
somebody said Tom Trump had an amazing night. He is doing some amazing things for America. It's going to take some time, but he's being a man of his word. Costs have gone up, but we were left with a mess. Okay. People, this is, and Monty and his gang, I call it, the other guys. And I don't even know if it might be Monty with different names right now. But basically they're saying,
I don't even think it's a real person.
No, Monty's a real person. He's called before. But here's what I'm getting
we've
from,
actually
and I
heard
know
his voice.
Here's what pisses Mark off is that, and I know what he's talking about. He does have a point. He says that I kind of exaggerate the other side as if it's many, many, many people. I don't mean to give that impression at all. What I mean to say is there are other people that think these things. And for me, it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe that I just got a text here that said, Tom, if someone declares themselves a female, there is no reason they should not be a female, period. And there is no reason why they should not compete with females, period. Now, even
Someone
if they,
really just put that?
Yes. Even if they took hormones, or decreased testosterone, their bone structure. And Michael Brown I listened to today, and he went through a lot. He talks about social constructs and actual, scientific constructs, right? I mean, and there's just nothing you can do about it. No matter how liberals bend and squeeze and flip and flop and get pissed off at God or everybody, there are two sexes that are born. Now, once in a while, there are people that are kind of at birth have some kind of a birth anomaly where they have parts of both. But I'm talking about for the main part in life, we have people born with genitalia, or we have people born with male and female genitalia, right? And if you want to be something else, that's where I don't care. I don't care. You can, and I don't care if you do. If you want to be a woman, dress like a woman, and be a woman, honest to God, I don't care. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'll bet you I could have many friends who are transgender. I mean, I don't know if I do it. I don't think I do. But Dimitri, I don't know. You're not pretty enough. But in any case, I think that, honest to God, I mean this. I don't care what they identify as. What I don't want them doing, though, is unfairly taking women's rights away. Like when my daughter worked her ass off to play volleyball, and then this one dude decides he wants to play volleyball and then does it and wins everything. There at Boston College, there was a fencer. This is a true story because I know the team. He was the worst fencer on the male team, the worst. He was benched most of the time. They're a Division I fencing team. He went away, grew his hair long, wore skirts back to school. He did nothing. He lopped off nothing. He did nothing except declared himself a female. That's all he did, and wore female clothes. And I think he reduced his testosterone. He may have done that because I think that was required. But he became a female fencer and kicked ass and became one of the best female fencers. Now, how could you look in the mirror and be proud of yourself? I mean, truly, does anyone truly? You know what I love is that these people will do these texts, but not one of you will call me and truly talk to me, because I would be respectful if you wanted to call and describe yourself. I would love it.
They're probably like that particular one. It's probably non-existent. I mean, they're just
there's
BSing.
a phone.
I mean,
there's a
there's
phone
no
number
way.
for them. What about this one? Hey, Tom, I'm so glad prices of groceries are coming down. And not. And look how much cheaper eggs are than when Biden was in office. Not. Ask Mark how that Trump economic plan is working out for him.
It's
love
working
what
out.
the market.
It's working out great.
And the market is now doing bad. So this guy is making the case that things aren't doing great under Trump. Now, a man in a
kind of
dress
funny that
goes into a
that
bathroom.
CBS thinks 80% is doing good.
A man in a dress goes into a bathroom and your daughter is in it. Do you care? Of course I do. I wasn't saying that. What I said was, if someone wants to identify as a woman or a man, I don't care if they do. What I don't think they should do is trample on others' rights. That would be right of privacy. And no, I do not believe they should simply be able to use a woman's bathroom because they say they're a woman. Do you realize how many prisoners up to this time, look at that, they would just, when they're going into prison, tell the warden that they identify, or the judge, as a woman. They have never once did anything. They never knitted a sweater. They never cooked a biscuit. They never baked. I'm just kidding, guys. But no, they never did anything to affirm.
Did they have a baby?
Nope. They just said they were a woman. They get admitted to federal prison and rape women. Now, how can any Democrat, AOC or any of them, how can they ever justify that? How can anyone justify that? And I just asked the fictitious Monty, who you believe doesn't exist. So you mean a guy can be born a man, decide he's a woman and compete against your daughter who's worked their ass off their entire life? He says absolutely not. I believe females at birth that has double X chromosome should compete only with double X chromosome females. I don't know what the hell that means. It's terrible that we have to take out a chemistry set when we're doing sports right now. Or how about this one? How about let's call it like it is. Let's have no genders or sexes in sports, period. Everything is open to everybody. You know what that would happen? Snuff out female athletes altogether. Because the worst, what I was shocked about, and I don't know if this is true, but I was told one of the worst male on the tour, one of the worst male tennis players, can just beat the hell out of the Williams sisters. Is that true? Did that actually happen?
So a mediocre, middle of the road college player, and it doesn't matter where from, and we're not talking one, we're talking the entire middle, can beat either sister at any day. I mean, any day, any game.
Serena has stated the fact that she will never play a male because it is a completely different game.
Yeah, they both acknowledge that. It's a completely different game. Same with golf. Golf is like absolutely insane. And then if you want to talk, imagine women playing in the NBA. How tall's Shaq? Like 7-something? I mean, there's no one near his size. There's no women that are that big.
I don't know, man.
Well, let me just say, in mixed tennis, there are a man and a woman against a man and a woman. And Serena and Venus have played with women. And if you watch any of those matches, even today, without them, it is still, the women have a very rough time returning male serves.
Yeah, it is a completely different game.
See, and that's where it starts getting weird. This is where the left collides with reality. And it's happened.
I know. That's the problem with reality. That's really the problem.
And it happened with ideology as well. For example, the left was all about the rights of these radical Muslims. You remember Obama would never even use the term radical Muslim. Or even
that's right.
I mean, not that it matters, because I don't want everyone who's Muslim to be, obviously ostracized. I really don't. They're wonderful people. But what I'm talking about is this, that they love these countries on the left and talk about their rights and all that, and like the Squad. And what they don't understand is in that country, they'll beat homosexuals to death for being homosexual. And you would never have a transgender person that would be open in that society. They would hang them. And also, when it comes to mutilation of female genitalia, so they don't get pleasure. Now, how do they justify that? Yet they want to be aligned with them on one end, but on the other end, they collide with reality. We got more coming up.
KHOW Denver, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. Download the free iHeart Radio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
Oh, the accident on 225 southbound at I-25 all cleared up. 225 now kind of sailing along out of Aurora. No big hang-ups. I-25, about 10 minutes between downtown and the tech center. Do have 270 running awfully heavy coming off of I-70 west up through Vasquez. And it looks like the ramp from I-70 eastbound getting on to Pena has been a little slow. Once you clear Green Valley Ranch Boulevard, it'll open up to the terminal. Everything else good. Got construction in Foothills. US 6 still tied up west of Golden. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll tell the story of the gambler, golfer, and greatest cheat, Titanic Thompson. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
You will never find a better company for your solar because they do it all, from the sales to the installation to the service. They've even serviced systems they did not install because people are left high and dry. The solar industry sucks for service. Red Rocks RS can service your system if you want to start there. If you want a new system, they can help you there. If you are a commercial operation and want to know how to get the government to pay 100% of it, they can help you there. 303-704-2449. 303-704-2449. RedRocksRS.com.
But they're really expensive.
Yeah, it's close to 20 grand.
It's mellow. It's Mellow Mark and Mellow Martino Day on the Troubleshooter Show.
You guys should go to Mellow Mushroom for lunch.
And we should go to Mellow Mushroom for lunch and then have some mushrooms.
I used to work there, though.
Can you imagine Tom and I doing the show totally lit on mushrooms?
You guys aren't?
And some of our arguments that we've gotten into. I don't think we would argue, would we? Would we argue when we're on mushrooms? Do people argue on mushrooms, or they don't know what to say?
No, I think you're busy being afraid of the unicorn that's in the hallway.
Yeah, I definitely want to do this show from my own house if I'm taking hallucinogenics there.
That pizza restaurant is so overrated and overpriced.
I'm talking about, like, getting high, sister. I'm not talking about pizza.
Oh. Okay.
I agree.
Remember he used to call what's-her-face Sister Lori, right? From now on, that's Sister Kelly.
Why? I was never Sister Sue.
Yeah, that's true. He had Prima Donna. Who'd you add? You had Prima Donna, Laptop Lori. Where is Tom? Did he disappear? My God, am I talking to nobody?
No, I'm here.
Okay. So we had Sister Lori, Prima Donna. Who else? Just producers. Who else? Is that it?
Oh, my God. Arzella was the original. Arzella Dirksen was the
What
original.
was her name? Just Arzella?
Yep, Arzella Dirksen. I didn't give her a name.
And then
no.
Kayla. No name for Kayla.
And then Tracy, years ago.
What was Did she have a name or no? Who was Prima Donna? Was that Tracy?
But I can't say the words.
Oh.
So you liked her.
Just outed yourself.
Tommy.
God. Language.
I told you I can't say the words. I didn't say a word.
That's true, you didn't.
You did not.
Wow. Suze was upset you never gave her, like, Suze, or, some kind of...
Suze is fine.
Bossy Suze.
I call her Hot Mama.
Hot Mama. You hot mama.
Hot Mama behind the glass.
He gave her executive producer. That's pretty big.
We don't care about that. Okay, someone's got something. Someone invoked my name. Now I don't see it though. Maybe they deleted it quick.
Yeah.
They don't want to be in.
Oh, it's Sob Guy. Oh my God.
Did you give Chopper his wrench back?
It's Sob Guy.
Give him a few days off.
He was emailing me or texting me. Can Mark give me my wrench back?
Okay, God dang it.
God bless America.
Add as moderator. Okay, Chopper, you're back. Managing moderator. No, standard moderator.
Giving people their moderating.
I'm sure you are rubbing your hands on this $1 trillion plus tax cut. Yes, and it's going to take away Social Security. Oh, my God. Sob Guy, you're just going to say.
Thank you, sir.
Guys like you, I can't argue with until the 4 years are over and you see that you're in a better place. There's no arguing with you.
Yes, Sob Guy.
And you drive a fucking Saab. You drive a Saab. That is your biggest problem.
Steve Diamond's favorite car. You're all insulting our guest.
No way. No way. No way is that anybody's favorite car.
It's Andy's.
Here, I'm gonna ask Google, because Google knows everything. What are the worst, ugliest pieces of shit cars ever made?
Mark this weekend.
Ever.
Get a quiet
And now I'm gonna hit enter.
Hell no.
And
he'll hurt.
it's Saab.
It's Saab. Sab. I used to call him Sabs.
Now I went to encyclopediabritannica.com and typed in turd, and there's a picture of a Saab. God, who would Sob Guy? Jeez. Okay, I'm putting a poll up about Sob Guy right now. Poll.
ET.com to find a physical therapist in your area.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, man. I am so tired of these texts. I think Mark is doing them, actually. I decided I think Mark is doing these ultra-liberal texts to me just to have me read them and get pissed off. That's what I'm thinking. I do have something about painting a house. Andy, somebody wants to know if you can't apply the paint except for ideal conditions, can you at least prep, and will the house hold for a paint job after that? And I kind of know what they're thinking, but can you do the major prep, like maybe on a slow time when you're not going to be applying paint, and then come back and do the application?
Yeah, I don't see why not. You know, obviously in Colorado we have, dust with our wind, and I guess the biggest thing would be if you're going to prep it and then come back and paint it a month, 2 months from now, you'd want to probably repressure wash it. But, board replacement, caulking joints, windows, that can all be done prior to. But, yeah, you just want to make sure you're not putting a new coating on top of a layer of dirt or dust, debris.
Right. So
then you won't have these
on that note, let's just go over. And by the way, we have open lines if you want to call 303-713-TALK, which is 713-8255, or 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. Now, what is prep? Let's talk about from beginning to end. What's the very first thing you do when you arrive? Let's say it's an older house, older paint, and you want to prep it and give it a new paint job. What do you do?
Yeah, I think it would be identifying any areas that need to be addressed. We'll see rotten boards sometimes. Obviously, if we're putting a new coating on that, it's only the coating is only as good as what it's going on. So that would want to be addressed first and foremost. And then beyond that, if we have any loose chipping, peeling paint, we'd like to address that, sanding it, scraping it, and then spot priming those areas.
And then from that point, obviously pressure washing is vital to removing at an efficient rate any dirt, dust, debris that is on the house as well. And then, moving on to the final product, which is the paint job.
Now, listen, when you scrape, you literally hand scrape and make sure all that old crap is gone.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk scrape, we're not talking by hand a whole house. Power washing is going to do a majority of the work for you.
But what about around windows and trim and all that? I wouldn't want just power washing and not hand scraping around those.
Yes, those areas are the common areas that are addressed with hand scraping. But generally speaking, paint doesn't just peel and chip on a large scale. There's always a reason for it, whether it's a windowsill where there was rain sitting and it kind of got behind that coating. That's where we see it most common, so around windows.
And speaking of coatings, I do have this text. Everywhere I turn, I hear about coatings. They don't call it paint. They call it coatings. What's the difference? And I know what they mean, Andy. I've heard it too. There's a trend to talk about coatings, and they say this is different, this is ceramic, or this is this, and this is not paint, and this is not the same as your mother's paint job. So tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to why that's popular in the marketplace, but, to me, painting and coatings are interchangeable. With paint, you're coating a surface, right? So I think in that regard, I look at it as interchangeable.
So you're just covering something with a coating, whether it's paint but I want to know, is there a difference? Like there are people that are literally advertising better than paint, and they're calling it a coating. Certainly you want to know about your competition. I mean, because people are going to ask about it.
Right.
Go ahead. So what do you think?
I mean, I've heard of companies that advertise a ceramic coating, again, being in the industry for so long.
Right.
I myself am not familiar with it.
Okay.
But, when we talk about coatings, there's powder coatings as well. That's a totally different segment.
That's normally for metal stuff, right? But when we're talking about ceramic coatings, there's this one talking about it, saying that it literally has beads of ceramics in it, and it lays down a strong finish that will last 10 to 20 years. I mean, come on. What is the best coating that you know of, or paint, in Colorado, and the longest it will last? If you did the absolute best, even if it was on raw wood, whatever, what's the absolute best result you can get in Colorado for never doing it again, or almost never doing it again?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a lot of variables that go into what makes a coating last.
Well, let's just say if you had to do it 100% from the ground up, what's the best result you can get for longevity, do you think?
10 to 12 years would be really good.
Sure it would.
Darker colors are going to fade, and no paint company warranties against fading. It's just something that it's
right.
There's no silver bullet per se on that. So in regards to fading, nothing is warranting. But peeling, chipping, paint isn't smart, so it's going to last forever. Or as long as the surface is prepped and we're putting it on a sound surface.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't say time to fail now. It just, if it adheres, it adheres, period.
Correct. And really what we talked about earlier is that prep is the biggest thing. So if we've got a surface that hasn't been cleaned of debris, that paint is going on a dusty surface. In a year it's going to come off. So, 10 to 12 years is really when you'll start to notice fade, and that's when we really look at repainting a house.
Okay, 303-713-8255. We have K&H in the house. Compass Insurance Group will do you an insurance quote if you want one. But what they'd rather do is look at what you have to see if you have great coverage for a great price, and they'll be honest with you. It's called a free insurance checkup, 303-996-9000.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
No, the accident on 225 southbound at I-25 all cleared up. 225 now kind of sailing along out of Aurora. No big hang-ups. I-25 about 10 minutes between downtown and the tech center. Do have 270 running awfully heavy coming off of I-70 west up through Vasquez. And it looks like the ramp from I-70 eastbound getting onto Pena has been a little slow. Once you clear Green Valley Ranch Boulevard, it'll open up to the terminal. Everything else good. Got construction in the foothills. US 6 still tied up west of Golden. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This week on Red Pilled America, we answer the question, when did companies get political? By telling the epic story behind one of the most successful boycotts in American history. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America, a storytelling show.
DiscountBath.com. Do you want a price and you have a smartphone? You can go to that hall room bath and just start taking a video and talk about it. Hey, I want to move this sink. I want to expand this shower. I want to do this. I want to do that. Or I want to add to the master bedroom. Or I want to do a bath down here in the basement where it's roughed in. And you do that and send it to them, and they send you a price and ideas as well. Now, you can always talk to them, but they're happy to start out there so you know at least the ballpark. And they're really good people, good, honest people in an industry that ain't so good. You know what I'm saying, right? So let's talk. And we're talking about DiscountBath.com. That's DiscountBath.com. And if you ever do need to talk to them, of course you can, 720-979-2322. Genesis Total Exteriors can do mold detection and remediation. That's something where I believe you need someone really honest who doesn't exaggerate the danger or underplay the danger, and you want someone who will really get rid of it with the minimal cost to you. That's GenesisTotalExteriors.com. I've known Mark Szymanski for years, and you can trust him. 303-679-8509.
Basement, it's like you can hold your hand up to it, and it's like it'll push your hand back, and then up top
you need it
like,
on the top floor. You know what we used to do for customers is take on the registers. We take pieces of metal, galvanized metal, cut it to the shape of the register, and just go to Home Depot and buy a couple little magnets and put the galvanized metal, and you can paint it up against the register, and that'll help deflect the air back up to the top floor. Oh, that works pretty good. Or the registers.
What do you think about the mini split system?
You know what? I hated mini splits back then. But now they're coming on. You know, their heat pumps are good. Their technology is good. The trick is...
I got pitched the Fujitsu. You know that brand?
Yeah, I do. I know the factory rep, and he just lost the line. So you'd have trouble getting support. I like the Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
And Carrier actually makes a good one.
But they wanted $12,000 to do the 3 bedrooms upstairs.
They're expensive.
Oh, you're gonna just add a mini split to pull off the upstairs.
He needs a whole system.
Yeah.
I think you just have someone out and figure out how to properly size a new one in your house.
Just get a whole new one instead.
Well, that's basically what you're doing with a mini split.
Yeah. The other part is I have a whole home humidifier.
Yeah.
So I want, like he was talking, I mean, the guy that came out was something else, but he was talking about closing off the stuff to the upstairs. I'm like, well, that's going to take out my humidity to the upstairs too.
Well, you still want to keep your central system.
Right.
Because you need it for the heat.
Yeah. Well, they say the mini split that they pitched was both. It heats and cools.
I still wouldn't get rid of your central system. Yeah.
Poor Saab guy. Poor Saab guy.
Sounds like to me you don't have enough return air on the top floor.
Yeah, it doesn't pull any air.
Saab guy's one of those people that wouldn't even clap for, the invited guest yesterday.
I know, real good mini split.
No doubt about it.
When I got out of it, I just...
Plus he drives a Saab once again.
And I know really... I mean, the trick to mini splits, you got to really...
Dragon don't have anymore.
No, not a chance.
You know, the length of the line set and the...
I mean, I want grandkids. Don't give me...
Grandkids are the best part.
The Carrier's good. I like
Give 'em that.
Mitsubishi because they've been around a long time.
Yeah.
And you can always get
sugar, shake them up, and send it back to mom and dad.
Whereabouts do you live?
I live south of Chapel.
So Nicholas, does he fit into the onesies?
Oh, are you in Roxborough?
Well, I'm in Sterling Ranch.
It's a nice area. My cousin lived there.
Those are 6 months.
Okay.
People know Roxborough. They don't know Sterling Ranch yet.
Well, hopefully he'll...
Yeah, it's brand new. They just started building like 3 years ago.
I love the red beard one.
Steve, you need to keep your existing system.
It's the little things that please all of us at this age.
That's what my thought was, but then I was like, no, it's $10,000.
Dude, I know someone could really give you a good deal on
Yeah.
it. If you want, give me your number. I'll give you this guy. He's not on the list. He's actually an engineer. He's an engineer at what's that plant out there? Lockheed Martin.
Okay.
He's actually a rocket scientist, and he's a freaking smart
10 seconds.
scientist, and he just likes to do
We the people will always find a way.
Because everyone's voice counts.
We are still going to make that attempt. We're going to get out there and be heard.
On Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have one other question here, a couple others, and it is having to do with changing color on stucco. One of the benefits of stucco is that colors through and through, and I would hate to have to change the color on stucco because you're just basically putting paint over us. Now, you could re-stucco the thing with a new color. That would be one way to do it. But what about painting over a pre-existing color for stucco? Have you done that, Andy?
Yeah, absolutely. That's very possible. We see it a lot in this market. We do have, quite a few stucco homes. The biggest thing there is, what is the stucco's condition, right? If we've got cracks that are, too big, a paint isn't going to bridge those gaps. So we're going to want to use an elastomeric. Sherwin-Williams has a couple great products, Loxon XP for one. They're meant to expand and contract and bridge those gaps, whereas a standard exterior acrylic paint only has so much give and take with expansion. So the biggest key is using the appropriate product on a stucco surface.
But you have done
very
it.
Possible.
You have actually changed the color of stucco, and it doesn't look like all patched up, and it doesn't start chipping and peeling.
All the time. Stucco's painted all the time here. And again, prep is the biggest thing.
How do you prep stucco?
Pressure washing is good. Yeah, pressure washing is the key there. Obviously, with stucco, you've got a lot of areas for dust and dirt to kind of hang out in. So making sure that those areas are clean before applying a product or a top coat is the most important thing. And then patching any areas that you have issues with that are cracked or starting to kind of fall out. Because again, even using the best product, if you're putting it on something that's already failing, that is going to fail in time as well.
Well, speaking of that, what are the best surfaces that hold paint? Seriously. I mean, not that we have a choice, but if we're looking at a home, it would be good to know, hey, this can hold paint, this won't. Like if you have old siding that's chalking, whether it be vinyl or aluminum, can you paint over that?
Or how about brick? Because occasionally I'll see like white painted brick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. To me, it's all about what it's going on top of. I'm a believer that anything can be painted. It's just about what you're putting it on. If you're putting a new coating on, aluminum siding that's chipping off, and you're not taking off,
it's cheaper to do new siding, right?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it's just we need to be putting the new coating on a sound surface. So if it's chipping currently, we need to remove as much as we can that's chipping before we put a new product on top.
So,
and at that point, I would be very confident.
So, Steve, I mean, you might go to houses, though, where they want to paint, and it's cheaper for them truly to do siding. You must find that, right?
I would say in general, like painting is cheaper, but you have to do it more often, So, I mean, this is why, we kind of started this division because there's two options. If you have really old siding, it's 40 years old, and you're painting it every 2-3 years, wood siding, it's probably a better investment to get it replaced. But if you don't have that, 20, 30, 40 grand sometimes to do all new siding on your house the right way, painting is a viable option.
Sure. I can see that. It's all in the math. It really is. By the way, K&H Home Solutions, one of my original sponsors in Denver. In fact, they did work on my home. They did windows for me twice, 2 homes. They did a roof for me one time. They did some, they've done a lot of work for me. khwindows.com, now known as K&H Home Solutions, but the website is khwindows.com, 303-421-7100. Okay, get your calls in, folks. We're solving problems, answering questions, and taking complaints on any and all topics. All you have to do is give us a call, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Stick around for more on the Troubleshooter Show.
Between the two.
Perfect.
Yep.
How was that?
Great.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
Did it all make sense? I don't know.
Of course it makes sense.
Sometimes you get lost in your words.
No, you did good.
You guys sound great on there. Great. Yep, you guys sound good. If we can just get Tom to step up a little, we might have a show.
Shut up.
Okay, thank you. Just checking your pulse.
You bastard. Mellow Wednesday.
To add another big building over there, do you know?
What's that?
It's crazy how many big buildings they've added.
Dude, I mean, sitting here 20 years ago, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
It is so wild that everything is massive.
Yeah.
There was one apartment building on this side, basically right, not even the one right in front of you, above behind it.
Yep.
Or actually, I think it was over the side. That was the only one.
It's crazy. We used to live over there, and it's just, in 10 years, it's gone from nothing to that.
I'll be shocked if they're all rented out. I almost find it impossible.
There's so many units, yeah. I'd wonder that, too.
Like, our daughter was looking at 2 bedrooms, like $2,500. There's nothing cheap over there. I mean,
no, they're all, yeah.
Is that an apartment building or an office building?
There's some condos, but there's both. A lot of multi-use. But mostly places, man.
Take for tomorrow? Or
Joel
the
guy?
Byron Joel.
Oh, yeah.
Situation.
Yeah, no, I
Do
can
you
go
wanna
out there.
take it? Okay.
Yeah.
I need to text it to you because the name is like 12
Oh, I know him. Yeah.
things long.
Yep.
So, what's your cell phone? So I can text it.
Let's see here.
I think any commercial property would be tough out here. So many people work from home.
Yeah. Yeah, I live right next to Waterton Canyon.
303.
There's like a big
421
hiking trail there, and it'll be like
Yeah, that is cool. I've been up there.
I'll
Yeah.
go late to work on I'll go at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
And the parking lot's like full on a Tuesday. I'm like,
Great. Do you have my email?
this many people that don't go to
No,
work.
I mean,
Oh, gotcha.
I used to work at Oracle.
Great.
Okay.
Software company. I mean, I was constantly being told by my manager, "You're doing awesome. You're doing a great job." I was maybe working 10 hours a week.
That's
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Not anymore, though.
No,
they don't do that shit anymore.
Yeah, that's why all these tech companies are having these huge layoffs. They're realizing.
Yeah, I'm just surprised they're building something like that. There's so much vacancy. Right
Yeah,
now.
Dimitri, I listened to that our tax dollars paid $2 million to get Johnston ready. Did you hear about what happened just last night?
Are you asking me, and are you talking about his testimony?
Yeah, I'm asking you. No. So, in the testimony, what I learned was it was either last night or the night before. ICE went to pick up some really bad guy. They released these assholes in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. I didn't realize they were that stupid.
And an ICE agent was injured by the scumbag that Denver released. They gave ICE a 1 hour notice that they're about to release someone that ICE was looking for.
And they held him for almost a year.
Yeah, well,
345 days.
The clip that I just sent you, that's Jim Jordan grilling Mike about that incident.
And wait a minute.
I watched it live today.
Oh.
They let him go in a parking lot?
Yeah.
And said to ICE, come and get him?
Yeah.
Those assholes.
Yes. Instead of keeping them basically in handcuffs and shit.
They're basically protecting him.
ICE begged for 2 hours.
You hit
ICE
offline,
said,
though,
give
you
us
can hear
2
the
hours.
guy.
We're
Yeah,
sending
this
6
is the
agents
long top
over.
of the hour break.
Denver said,
We'll
no,
go on
we're
at
letting him go right now.
6.
They released him into the parking lot. ICE agents arrived at that moment.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Tried to arrest the guy, got in a fight, deployed tasers, and ICE agent was injured.
Mom, you know
By
where it
the
is?
scumbag.
I'll show you.
They did. I sent. Yeah.
Is he looking like an idiot?
And then Johnston claimed that, that's never happened out of 1,000 times or something.
I have never seen more of an idiot in my life.
By the way, he's
the worst mayor I've ever heard of, man. Him wanting to add on a 20%.
Even our whore-loving mayor was
Oh,
better.
God, he's way better. Way better.
And by the way,
This guy got just
after
killed today.
$2 million contract with a law firm to prepare him for this hearing. $2 million.
Yeah, that we paid, right?
Yeah.
In Denver.
It's just the retainer. That's just the minimum.
I want food, but I want junk, and you don't.
Well, get whatever you're going to eat.
No, but then I don't. I want to get something that.
What's your idea, junk?
Pizza.
You don't want to hear it, Mark.
God,
and
why
I
wouldn't
can't-
you get it?
I can't talk a lot about
You're
it
crazy.
right now, but I
know,
really-
but you should get it.
I can't keep anything down. I got to get junk. Okay, you want to hear?
That's what I'm saying.
I'll
Get
just
the
tell you,
junk.
What I feel like having right now, and it just makes me feel better, are donuts.
What?
Do it.
Get it. Why wouldn't you have one? What are you, nuts?
Yeah, I know.
Calories, baby.
I know.
Is there anything
What's the best donut?
He's usually anti-carb, but my God, you just got to shove carbs down when you need carbs.
Do it.
Yeah, he
Do you
said
get
that.
filled donuts? Just glazed donuts? What's the best one?
Do you like the fancy ones like Voodoo or just the regular? Tom.
I don't know. I'm looking
So this
online
is-
here to see who delivers.
Get who does Dunkin' Donuts, man?
Yeah.
They get
Dunkin'
they deliver.
Donuts.
No, everyone
Tom
delivers.
likes some cream filled.
This is one of those moments when Dragon's going to yell at me because
honestly, Walmart Safeway does too.
No, Dragon's going to yell at me because I don't like donuts.
You don't like donuts?
Well, everybody likes
Well,
donuts.
they're kind of bad for you.
I don't.
Well, we just don't eat them generally. But I mean, who the fuck doesn't like donuts?
I don't
The
like
same person that
donuts.
doesn't like bacon.
Do you
the
not
same
like
person that doesn't
cake?
like chocolate.
I do not like cake.
Okay, well then that makes sense. You don't like donuts.
I don't like cake.
Do you like cheesecake?
Like I can do maybe 2 bites.
All right, she's fired.
No wonder you've never been fat a day in your life.
I don't like bacon or chocolate either, and Dragon
Bacon?
gives me a
You don't
bad
like
time about
bacon?
that every day.
Right?
I don't like bacon.
Well,
No.
that's just silly.
She's just straight up insane.
Now this woman.
There's no.
How can anyone be married to her?
I don't know, but I said that a lot before this conversation.
I have made bacon for my kids, his friends, Adam,
10
everyone
seconds.
else.
And more on the Joe Pag Show tonight from 6 to 9 on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino here to help you, and we will take your calls on any and all issues and matters and problems and questions and complaints, along with your texts. I failed to give that number out enough, but the iHeart short code, you just put Tom in there and you'll get through to me, is 57739. So that's the number you text. And then you put Tom there and it'll be shuttled to me. It's for all the shows here, but it's 57739. And then, of course, my direct texting, you can direct text me, like directly on my cell phone right here, day or night, and I mean that sincerely, 747-999-5280. That's a Google number that I put there. And the reason I do that is so I can turn it off if I ever have to. And I haven't had to. And I answer texts quite regularly. So that is 747-999-5280. So welcome to the show. We have K&H Home Solutions with us today. And we're talking specifically about painting. We're also talking about the exterior of your house in any way you want to talk about it. We've also had some interesting calls today. We're looking for a handicap van. I don't know what the term is, but it's handicap accessible. It's a van that can take a wheelchair, maybe a little hand lift or a hoist. This guy's not looking for anything famous. Right now, he has a car, and he throws his wheelchair in the back of the car and uses plywood to slide down. He's paraplegic. He's paralyzed from the waist down, and he uses this car, and it's breaking down. And this one community activist from Commerce City called and said, we want to help this guy. So she's trying to find him a van to help him out. If you can help find one for low cost or no cost or whatever. Mark, did you?
Hey, Tom, I do have an update on that.
Okay.
We did have a caller who called in and is sending us his information. Unfortunately, his grandfather passed away, and his grandmother wants to sell an accessible, handicapped accessible van. And so I've put them in contact with each other.
Wow. I wonder, did it sound like new and expensive or what? How did it sound?
It's 5 years old.
What's that?
It's 5 years old.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty new. So we'll see that, and those are pretty expensive, but maybe, who knows, maybe somebody will do a kindness and try to get this guy helped out. So we also had a call about a painting contractor. And again, K&H Home Solutions with us. We have our K&H painting pros with us. And this guy was upset with Byron, this painter, who gave him a verbal quote for some painting, and it included replacing a few boards of siding. And then Joel, the consumer, said, I was concerned after a while. He was doing a bad job, and he was putting it on in bad weather. And I just think that I just stopped him because I didn't believe in it. So when he stopped him, he said the guy wants $2,000 to walk away. He said, look, I worked and I'm willing to finish, but if you want me to walk, I should at least get paid for what I did. And Joel said, why should you get paid for what you did? Because I'm going to have to correct it. And it's going to cost me more than originally because of your mistakes. So to put an end to this, we asked Andy over at K&H Painting Pros to go look at it tomorrow, right? Is that when you're going to look at it, Andy?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. I want you to predict something. What's the number one problem you find when you go check out jobs that people are unhappy with? What's the number one thing you find?
Generally, it would be a lack of prep. Another portion of the time we'll see application, whether it was sprayed or if we've got a uniform finish with the spray. Those are the two main ones, prep and then spray application.
How about quality? I'm sure you guys use good quality paint, but I'm curious. You can go to like Sherwin-Williams, and they might have 3 different kinds of paint. One is 10, one's 20, one's 30. Then, like I think Tom mentioned last hour or a different hour, you've got these things like Rhino, which could be $50 a gallon. I mean, is the quality that big of a deal?
Yeah, I think like anything, there's levels to it, right? But Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, they don't make bad products. So even if budget is a concern and we're getting a cheaper gallon of paint, it's not going to fall off in sheets, right? But again, we go back to that prep being the most important part. If you are getting a cheaper gallon of paint, we need to have proper prep for it to even last. But with a more expensive product, you're getting better color and gloss retention long term, those are the important things of what you're looking for.
What's your favorite? If you could, like, what would you paint your house with?
Yeah. So I like Emerald and Duration with Sherwin-Williams. Those are their two top-of-the-line products. I think, they give the best color retention here in the Rocky Mountain sun. I just think their coverage is really good, too. They're easy to apply in terms of spraying.
Is there any paint that claims like you don't need any kind of undercoat, any kind of primer? Is that all BS?
Yeah, I mean, I always recommend 2 coats, regardless of what a can says.
So is it
Some
called a
cans say
primer?
paint-
Is it called a primer when you do 2 coats? Do you literally put a primer or just 2 coats of the same paint?
Yeah, so primer and paint, some cans will say paint and primer in one. Primer is used on a as-needs basis. So if we're down to bare wood, for instance, or in a house that was smoked in where we've got some nicotine staining, those are scenarios where you'd actually want to use a primer to block out either odors or discoloration from coming through, because paint isn't going to do that. And then once that primer is on there, you can top coat it with whatever product you want to go with. So that would be the need there. On top of that, in this market, a lot of paint companies will do a prime coat in their first coat with just the top coat, and then a second top coat for their durability sake and coverage sake.
Do you guys do interior as well?
Correct. Yep. Interior, exterior repaints. Yep.
So we've had, of course, our house touched up and some rooms painted. I was told by another painter the hardest thing, not that it was hard, but it's the biggest pain in the butt, is sealing. Is that true?
Yeah, it's the fifth wall. It's the one that we all forget about.
Yeah.
I would say generally it's not as important as a wall because, you're not touching it, you're not washing it.
Spilling stuff on it.
Exactly. So that's generally where we can, if budget is a concern, it doesn't need to be repainted. But there are cheap alternatives to painting a ceiling that don't need to be as durable as, say, your walls, your trim.
That's K&H Home Solutions with K&H Painter Pros. And listen, Mark, these texts are blowing up about you. I don't know why they love pissing you off, but I swear to God, these are real. Do you think, Mark, it's weird that Trump pandered to the cancer kid? Now, what are they talking about? Pandered to the cancer kid, the one he made an honorary.
There's this kid.
Go ahead.
There's this kid that's had 13, if I recall, it's 13 or 15 different brain surgeries. I mean, it's brain cancer. And that creates all kinds of problems. In fact, interestingly enough, I watched an interview on him or with him this morning. Some of these, because they're dealing with the human brain, when you have some of these done and they're done with that particular operation, your entire life can be different when you wake up. Like, he's in a different mood. He feels a different way. It's really crazy listening to it. But I guess when you're messing with the human brain and say you cut a tumor out or something, you could literally wake up and feel different about what kind of food you like. I mean, it's really nuts.
Now,
but he's gone through 13 of them.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. Keep going. I'm sorry, and then I'll tell you this. Go ahead.
Well, it's all right. But what's nuts about it is, as we know, none of the Democrats would stand. In fact, Trump actually said he could cure some huge disease, and these guys wouldn't even stand up if it saved an entire continent. And I agree with that. I don't think he was pandering at all. This kid, what he likes doing, I think he's 15 now, he has been all over the country, local police stations, like anywhere. I'm using Castle Rock as an example, but he has gotten badges or honorary jobs with these police stations all across the country. And Trump had him in because his dad kind of pushed for it and had him in to become an honorary, I think it was CIA. Was it CIA? Secret Service, and then the guy that just got confirmed came down and gave him a badge, and the kid was happy. And my God, this kid has nothing. This is going to be the biggest thing in this kid's life. So anybody out there that wants to make fun of him or anything else, you're just a moron. I mean, what else can I tell you? But whatever.
I didn't read the rest of the text, though. Mark, do you think it's weird that Trump pandered to the cancer kid, but they cut $1 billion from cancer research? Now, I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, first of all, $1 billion from cancer research where? On the moon? I mean, some of the things they spend money on could be anything. It was probably like, knowing the Dems and the lefties, it was probably cancer research on lab rats in Afghanistan that are between the ages of 3 weeks and 4 weeks.
Good point. Hey, Tom, I once played on a softball co-ed team. It was pretty fun. Why don't people just do co-ed sports than have other sports? In other words, why don't we just have a co-ed competition along with regular male and female sports? You don't have to call it trans.
Yeah, can you see the NFL? Can you see NFL? NFL, come on, that's dumb.
Well, no, what I mean is if you have co-ed.
Basketball, come on. Co-ed basketball.
Well, I'm not talking.
Wouldn't you just pass to the tallest person, the man?
What can we have? How about just trans sports? Would that work?
I think they tried that, but there's only 4 of them.
Well, there's so many. Dragon, what's the percentage? Dragon actually researched this. What's the percentage?
I love how Dragon, how many of you are there?
No, Dragon, you did some research. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to figure out where this $1 billion from cancer research was coming from. It just looks like the NIH, Trump is cutting across the board NIH funding, which just so happens to coincide with $1 billion in cancer research funding. So that's what that came from. I'm sorry, what was the other question?
Like, what's the percentage?
You're going to love it.
Of
people.
Of trans people? Yeah. I think it's like 0.1%.
0.1, like 1/10? Or 100.
It's either 0.1 or 0.1. Or 0.01, excuse me. It's one of those two. I cannot recall off the top of my head right now, but it's under a full percent.
Well, yeah, I know it's under a full percent. Okay, what if I ask my boyfriend, do you think AI will be accurate in this, or will they skew to the left?
Well, first of all, let's define it. What does that mean? So if someone...
Are these people that have done the transition already, or these are the people that are just saying, yes, I'm a woman when they're...
I don't know, but I'm going further. Does that mean they lopped it off? I mean, what are we talking here? Is it gone, or is it still there?
I'm going to ask, what is the percentage of population that identifies as a transgender?
Oh, God.
What?
Oh, jeez.
What?
Identifies. I mean, people can identify as a goat today and a horse tomorrow.
My
15%. If I
okay, here's what they say.
I'm putting 15, how many people have had full
15%.
That's what I thought.
I'm just kidding, by the way. Honest to God, I'm just kidding. Just erase
58%. Oh.
No, actually, here's what it says. The percentage of the population that identifies as transgender by country and study methodology in the United States, estimates suggest around 0.5% identify as transgender, according to the data from the Institute at UCLA and the CDC. Globally, estimates range from 0.1 to under 1. 0.1, depending on the region. Yeah, well, in some areas, if you identify as a transgender, you're going to be hung by your toes and whipped and killed. So there's no way.
Well, and plus, I don't know how, is that full reassignment surgery, or what are we talking about?
I just asked about identifies. I mean, actually, that's all. I don't really know. See, the whole argument, Mark, and this is what I think that we miss. The thing that really bothers me is that in America, you don't have to do any kind of medical procedure. If you simply identify as a female and you're in school, they have to show well, I don't know now what happens, but they had to recognize you as a female, period. That's what they, I filled out a mortgage application just the other day. It's a long story. It's for Vestera. It's not for me. But I'm doing those Vestera things, right? And do you know that they asked on that mortgage application, gender.
Your gender.
And they asked, and they had
about... Yeah, but that's all going to be changing.
They had about 14. Or rather not
14.
Say. Rather not say.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
14. It's crazy.
Or rather not say.
It's crazy.
It's... First of all, here's something I do want to know, and I mean this really.
Don't you see, though, that there's so few people like that think that way? I think we get caught up in that real lefty libtard news, And we think like all these people think that way, and they don't. I mean, we're talking so few people really believe that women should, or men should be playing in women's sports. I think the last real poll, I would believe, was like over 80% of the country, and that includes not just Republicans, but Democrats and in the middle and everybody. 80% thinks it's BS.
Mark, here's what I want to know. Really and truly, when they talk about this, who enforces it? Who
enforces what part?
Like if you're telling the truth, and what does it matter? Why do we even have? And I'm going to ask you this, and I mean this, and I don't mean to be like lib or aggressive. Why do we even care? Why does there even have to be a gender or sex question on any application? Why? I don't see why we need.
Well, the first person I would ask that would be the federal government, and that's the only person that I know that it would matter.
Why do we care who's applying for a loan, whether it's a male or female? I don't even get it. It has nothing to do with the loan. They should ask
probably
about
just
income.
Identification. How come our license has that? How come our passports have that?
Okay. Maybe for the passports, it's for identification and for license. I don't know. But what do we care for a loan? What do we care for anything? Why? For medical stuff, I would see that. They want to know what you are, so they know,
We're late for a break.
Anyway, we got to take a break. I'm Tom Martino. We got more coming up.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we were just way late.
Thank you, man.
During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places you can't control. Between payroll, your home office, your tax preparer, and the IRS, if your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code CLAY. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
All right. If you're looking for the best carpet cleaning ever and the safest carpet cleaning, ZeroResDenver.com. No one does it better. It's that simple. Because they don't use any soaps, chemicals, or emulsifiers. So that means, to begin with, they take all the crap out of your carpet from previous cleanings. And then what they do is they make your carpets not only look clean, but feel clean, and they're really clean. Zero resified clean. I love the way they do it with this purified, softened water. The best cleaning agent in nature. And what I really love is that you can feel the difference, and your carpets stay clean longer. That's another thing to consider. Not only that, your indoor air quality, your whole house is healthier for you, your kids, your pets. Think about it. ZeroResDenver.com, 303-471-5150. Get an early start on your spring cleaning. Pick your date while they have them open right now and get an early start. You get 3 rooms at $109, $75 off duct cleaning, 303-471-5150, 303-471-5150, ZeroResDenver.com. Vestera Turnkey. I've been answering so many questions about Vestera. It is a system whereby you buy a rental and you become a landlord, but you do it through Vestera Turnkey, which takes care of each and every element, from the home, the inspections, the financing, everything. And then you end up owning it, renting it, and they have a management company to take care of the day-to-day hassles. You don't even get a phone call. And they hold it from 1.5 to 3 years, and then they have recorded 30 to 80% returns a year for people. Now, you want to check this out, mybiggestreturn.com. We're having a webinar, and I'm going to be there to talk about it as well. So I want you to be there. And it's going to be coming up on April 5th at 10 in the morning. mybiggestreturn.com. Restore your hair. How? I'm going to give you a website. You're going to love this one. Now, I met this guy, Nick, and Nick says, I got an easy way for people to get hair transplants. Listen, when done properly, everyone knows that hair transplants are the right way to do it. Hair transplants, okay? Now, stem cell works, by the way, for, increasing what you have. But if you want real hair follicles that will grow, you want a transplant. And he found Istanbul, Turkey is a capital of medical tourism. This is Nick who put this together. And he is offering these trips to Turkey to get your hair transplant at sometimes a third of the cost of what you're quoted here in America. And that includes all the travel. RecoverYourHair.com if you want to find out more, but you can call them directly. And I urge you to do that. RecoverYourHair.com, 970-534-0676. 970-534-0676.
Announce.
Hey, you know who brought up something interesting, Tom?
Who's that?
One of the YouTubers said, when Medicaid or Medicare, I don't think it was Medicare. Does Medicare pay for that? No, it says when Medicaid started paying for the treatment, the trans treatment and surgery, is where this shit got really popular because all of a sudden it was free.
I was able to find out straight from the NIH, the transgender and non-binary, they put these two stats together, the percent of population for transgender and non-binary is anywhere between 0.39% to 2.7% of the population.
2.7.
I know, that's massive. Because that has to go with the non-binary stuff. So.
Oh, yeah.
So,
which anybody can be.
Anybody can say that they're non-binary.
Well, that's the whole problem with that. That's why I would like to know people that actually lopped it off, because that's fucking commitment. It's not a commitment if you're fucking gay one day and not gay the next.
What about like Sadie's boyfriend, whose birth certificate says male?
Yeah.
Though she still has girl problems.
Is it I forget, is it a girl or a guy, though? Birth.
Born a girl.
Yeah.
Birth certificate changed to male.
Yeah. Are the boobies gone?
Well, she still has her monthly.
Yeah, that doesn't qualify.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's a no-go.
But her birth certificate says she's a male, so I'm just going to go with it and say, you're a guy, right?
Hey, who did you piss off on YouTube? Because I just got a very
Which
interesting
one?
call
Kelly?
for a person.
He pisses off everybody.
I piss people off all the time.
All the time.
So, okay.
Go ahead, spit it out.
No, he basically says, oh, I want Mark to know, I'm not going on the air, by the way. I love those calls. But I want Mark to know that, he gives me shit because I'm a Democrat.
Okay. Oh, that's probably Saab guy.
Oh, it's got to be Saab guy.
He gives everyone shit.
And then he says to me, ask him how his 401k is doing.
What does that
since
mean?
January, when Trump got elected. That's what he said, and then he hung up on me.
Well, I'm an independent worker. I don't have a 401k, so I guess I'll start with that.
Yeah.
But, dude, things go up and down. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
10 seconds.
Okay, Mark, you got to take this. I got to take the call.
From the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trust.
He's good. He's good. You're good.
Trajan.
Go away.
.com.
All right, 303-713-8255. You've been ripped off or taken advantage of. We want to hear from you. It's simple as that. 303-Martino. Don't forget, people, help at troubleshooter.com. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of things, and I hope you don't get your feelings hurt listening, but sometimes that happens. But honestly, what we do better than anybody else in the world is go after the bad guys. You got a bad contractor, you got a bad anything, we want to hear about it. 303-713-8255. Right now, I do have a couple lines open. I want to hear from you. Any comments you have? 303-713-8255. Tiffany, what is going on?
Oh, man. Well, I hope you have some time because, it's been a whirlwind. I got into didn't really seek out becoming a landlord.
Well, how did that happen real quick? Did you inherit a house or what happened?
So my husband passed away. We owned 2 properties in Breckenridge, Colorado.
Okay.
And he passed away. We did have,
How long ago
he
is
passed
this?
away, we did have a year and a half ago.
Okay.
A year and a half ago. So, I moved out of my home, just couldn't go back, so decided to, long-term my home, and I moved to Evergreen, and, just to kind of get away and, be closer to family for support and everything. And so I rented my home and, got a couple bad eggs in there in September.
Hey, you said you had a couple properties. What was the other property?
Yeah. We owned a townhome that my husband and I just kind of rented to a local that needed, he was in there for 4 years.
And what was the other one?
And, that was it. That's it.
Oh, I thought you said you had 2 properties, though. That's not correct?
Right now I have 2 properties.
Okay. So you were renting that townhome out in Breckenridge to a couple bad tenants.
Nope. Sorry. So we had good tenants in there.
Okay.
While my husband was alive. When he passed away, I moved out of my home.
Yeah.
And decided to long-term my home. And so my home, not the townhome, I had a couple bad eggs move in. And they have just taken me,
Well, give me an idea what's going. Let's not go down that road right now. What's going on right now? Are they still in the house?
Yes. They are not. So I was notified on December 20th.
He's on the air. What's up?
I just had texted me a bunch of photos of my home and, saying that they had found